as we look, and then in the top corner as well, all yellow, top right hand corner, so they've got their pockets of yellow. You can hear them singing their songs, and then the rest of the stadiums, the USA fans. Here we go, here's the countdown.
Huge countdown from the big screens from 10 to 1. I'll run you through the Australia team in full in just a moment, but this stadium expects a big evening. In the state of Washington, we are underway. And it is Australia who begin the proceedings, all in yellow. They are going from right to left, and from left to right it is America. The United States in their wavy red and white shirts with the navy shorts and the white socks. Ball headed out of play for a throw-in on the far side. Patrick Beach is the Australian goalkeeper. Italiano, Ciccatti, Sutar, Burgess and Boss at the back, with wing-backs of that back five. Four-man midfield of Lecky, O'Neill, Ocon, Engsler and Velupille as Australia have the first attack on the game. It is an angled shot from the right-hand side, low and caught, or low stopped by Matt Freese in the America goal deal.
You know what, I think that Australia are just, they're going to see what and how the US start this game. They're sort of standing off. They've not gone through a full press at all. America obviously will try and play out from the back, but there's no commitment from the front three at the moment in yellow shirts until they get the chance, and when one goes they'll all go together.
Chris Richards on the ball with his afro hair, striding towards the edge of the centre circle in the heart of the American defence. Just missed out Mohamed Toure there for Australia. Long ball forward from the States, easily and comfortably controlled by Patrick Beach, the Australia goalkeeper. Mohamed Toure, the Norwich man tasked with finding the goals this evening here in Seattle. Australia have to clear from the corner of their own penalty area. Second ball won by the States in the midfield. It'll just bounce towards the halfway line where Alex Freeman can get the control. This great stadium, home of the Seahawks and the Sounders. The ends behind each goal are open. Two-tiered bowl, the arch roof covering the stands that flow the length of the pitch. Slightly odd semicircled stand that rises steeply to the left. Behind the goal, the cityscape of Seattle behind it. On the right, an open second tier, where fewer seats than what seems like a viewing platform. One of the many features, I guess, of American stadiums. Around 70,000 can fit inside, as Tony Popovich, the Australian manager, all in black, his suit with a black shirt and black tie, is his arms folded. He wants his side to show that they can compete now on the world stage. It is a young Australia squad. It hasn't got many caps across it, Leon. He reckons maybe in 4 or 8 years' time they might be better than they are today, but they gave a good account of themselves on match day one.
Yeah, and he said he still has belief in them, and he wouldn't be here as the manager if he didn't believe. And you can see they're very well organised. They are buying into how he's set them up. I think you saw in that first game that they'll just come with the defensive unit, try and defend really well, and hope that they can be impressive on the counter-attacking. Already seeing in this game that's been the case. Dion just mentioned it. They're not going in search of anything. They're happy to stay in the positions, just allow America, the USA, to actually have the ball, which might be a bit different from them, because they were most impressive when they actually went and gave it away and then went and tried to win it back, where they might have a lot more of the ball than they're expecting today.
The man on our screens in front of us, Christian Pulisic, is in the American dugout this evening, but can play no part. The calf injury keeping him out, but he is a crucial part of this team, Dion, and that is why he's at least on the bench tonight. A little bit scrappy in the midfield, cleared away, and now a foul is given in Australia's favour midway inside their own half. How big a miss is Christian Pulisic, Dion?
Yeah, huge, because he's not just, you know, a very good footballer, very potent when he goes forward, just tries to get in that final third and create, and on the odd occasion get himself a goal as well. But it's just the vocal side of him, his experience in the dressing room. He will be the one that will possibly give all the players their last little bit of information with his experience, and all those people out there in those red and white striped shirts will be listening to him and want him on the bench and as close by as possible.
Doesn't like the nickname Captain America, but that's what they've given him, as Anthony Robinson, with his dyed blonde hair, gets across the halfway line on the far left-hand side, work back towards Chris Richards, and now Sergino Dest, the winger with PSV in the Netherlands. He's won 3 consecutive titles with them. He wants to be part of an exciting American side. He's a player that US sports fans, I was reading in an article, love to watch, given the entertainment factor that he can provide. But here's Weston McKennie, a little bit of a red streak in his hair. He feeds it infield for Tyler Adams, the Bournemouth man who's qualified for European football next season with the Cherries. Just lifted up towards the corner of the penalty area, near side the right. McKennie gets a cross in, it is attacked, but not met cleanly enough by Ricardo Pepi. Ball swung in from the left-hand side. Referee's blown his whistle for a free kick to Australia in all of that, but clever and smart movement from Weston McKennie, Dion.
Yeah, good play. I don't mind that at all. That's good play down the right-hand side. And I mean, I've seen so many games in this tournament where they're just allowing the crosses to come in. Stop the cross coming in. Work harder as a fullback. And I know that these wingers, Dest on the right-hand side, Pepe on the left-hand side, they know each other well. Obviously, they play in the same club side at PSV. And it wouldn't surprise me if they swap at some stage if one's not getting any joy. So, yeah, the wingers are going to be the key.
Yeah, and I think the key, Dion, as well, is for the USA to actually put the ball in, test that Australian defensive unit, because they don't mind actually winning the ball back quickly. And you don't get the opportunity to go in search of the ball unless you actually risk it, potentially create something, but potentially give it away, and then you have a great chance to go win it back.
Pressure from Australia gets them the ball back deep inside the United States half, but solid work on the recovery from Chris Richards. He was the one sold short initially. Quick ball to the halfway line, pounced upon by Australia, and now Toure trying to get towards the edge of the D. Across steps Tim Ream, and he, left-footed, clears it as far away from his penalty area as he can. It is a fast start from both sides here, keen to get early on the attack, Leon.
Yeah, you'd expect so. I mean, especially the US. I think the way they played in the first game, I've mentioned it before, you'd expect them to go out there and try and do that again. The crowd were well behind them and were really impressed with how they play, and this crowd will want to see the exact same thing, so expect that. But Australia will be resolute, they'll stay in their positions, they won't want to give any cheap chances, but they'll counter-attack when they get the chance.
Just mopped up at the back by Harry Suter, the Australia captain, nudges it back to his goalkeeper Mauricio Pochettino, lively on the edge of his technical area, the relaxed outfit look. He's got his overshirt buttoned up, slack trousers on, and that curtained brown hair that he's now sporting, a little bit longer than his days at Paris Saint-Germain, Chelsea, Tottenham and Southampton perhaps. As the US win a free kick, over goes Tyler Adams just before the halfway line. He is a key figure for the United States, key figure for Bournemouth, of course. Featured 10 times in that 18-match unbeaten run that Bournemouth had. He got first to the ball. There was a late sliding challenge from Matthew Leckie that caught out Tyler Adams there, Dion, and a free kick's been awarded. Yeah,
just a little bit late there. Leckie with his left foot kicking Tyler Adams's left ankle as well. Just as the ball goes, he thinks he's going to get it. Sometimes you commit to the challenge, you've got to make it, and sometimes you get a card, sometimes you don't. He was a little bit late there, and I think they will panic a little bit if you see Tyler Adams down there. You think, oh no, let's hope he's okay. He's up on his feet now, and he's taking the free kick, which is great.
Sleeves rolled up from Pochettino as he turns back to his dugout. The first of 4 matches this evening on BBC Radio 5 Live. Played 8 minutes in Seattle. United States 0, Australia 0. 1 shot for Australia so far. The US have put some pressure on the penalty area without a test yet of Patrick Beach, and they're off again here, the home side as they are in this World Cup. McKennie turns in from the right hand side. Adams lets the ball run over his body and then feeds it short into the path of Freeman. Combination, Dest will have space on the right hand side, left-footed shot, smacks it against the defender on the edge of the 6-yard box, and Australia have only temporarily cleared it. It's going to come back again, you imagine. Pressure here from the United States as Australia stand tall for now. I think that smacked Harry Suter straight in the chest, and the shot on the left boot going across goal from Serginho Dest. Robinson back to Tim Ream. It's calmed down a little bit.
Yeah, I think it was actually Burgess that it hit on the chest. It was really good play. I like the way the US sets up. They are a back four when they defend, but as soon as they start to attack, they become more wing backs. Dest down the right hand side, Robinson down that left hand side, McKennie making runs all over the place, and it was a good link up down that right hand side. They got Dest into a great position, took the shot on with his left foot, but really good position for that block because that was going in.
McKennie lets the ball run over his legs as he then tries to creep it to 20 yards out from the Australia goal. There's not a single fan on that bottom tier on the far side of the stadium that looks to be sat down. From the images that we can work out, the American fans certainly trying to get behind their team as it is sliced away from the back line of Australia. And out for a throw-in on this near side. It's the United States 0, Australia 0.
I think it's one of those games where Australia do have to concentrate for so long in this game, because USA will have most of the ball. They're literally getting themselves into like a 5-4-1 Australia and forcing the US round the outside. And when the opportunity arises, one yellow shirt goes, then they all go.
Turn of pace on the left-hand side. United States into the box. The pullback is there and into their own net from Australia. 10 minutes in, and the United States take the lead in Seattle. 3 points, vital to see them through to the knockout stages. Good pressure down the left-hand side. And it is turned into their own net. Australia can't resist the United States pressure. Pochettino applauds. It is the United States 1, Australia 0.
What a goal! What a goal that is by them. That's just down to sheer pace, injection of pace, little 1-2 touches. Yes, they get lucky with it being an own goal, but just a few little 1-2s. They switched off a little bit of pace down the left-hand side. Unfortunately, when that ball's played into that area and you're a defender and you're running back towards your own goal, you really have to sort your feet out. You have to get a clean clearance. Can't afford to leave it. Gets it all wrong. And unfortunately, Burgess puts it into his own net.
Yeah, you just talked literally about attacking in the wide areas. Australia kind of forcing them out wide. Well, on this occasion, that Australia back five just got itself a little bit out of position. Robinson, I said, was playing more of as a left wing back when they attacked. He allowed Italiano just to come right up and on him, and then that ball down the side for Balogun had him up against the centre back Chikati in a wide area, and it was a mismatch for pace. And the rest Dio's described brilliantly. Burgess couldn't do anything to get out the way of the cross. Brilliant tactical build-up from the USA that created that chance.
Balogun causing yet more problems for a side at the World Cup, 2 against Paraguay, and he's the one who put it into the middle as Australia looked for a response. They hit that first time edge of the penalty area, looking for the top left-hand corner, and it goes high and wide in the end. But Balogun, he's the danger man, 2 against Paraguay, and now the crucial run down the left-hand side, which gave Burgess no choice. He couldn't sort his feet quick enough and sent it into the back of his own net. Cameron Burgess, the Swansea City man, 10 years ago was about to join Oldham on loan in League Two, and now he's on the world stage. But that is a moment he'll want to forget. 12 minutes gone in Seattle, and United States leading Australia by a 0-0, Dion.
Yeah, it's unfortunately one of those positions, having played centre-half, you know, you have to get yourself on the goal side of the ball if you can quickly, so the ball gets played behind you. You don't want it to be played in between you, and sorting your feet out that quickly with the ball smashed at you is very, very difficult.
And here come United States once again. Balogun involved. It just flicks off the right boot of a backtracking Burgess and out for a corner.
Yeah, poor play from Australia, just giving the ball away cheaply. But every time United States get the ball in a good position, they're quite direct. They play with pace. They really go right through the middle of the opposition every chance they get. They don't just win the ball back and go side to side and get possession. They really do try and penetrate every time they win the ball.
And there is a block of yellow shirts behind the goal, of which Burgess turned the ball into his own net, that will have seen that firsthand. Now they're watching on for this corner to the United States. Far side, the left. Chris Richards manoeuvring himself in the penalty area. Referee, who tonight is the German Felix Weyer. That's a word with Chris Richards and Paul Ocon Engsler, the Australian midfielder, who's probably got the task of dealing with Chris Richards. Just puts his left arm round the back of the US number 3. Corner far side to be taken by Malik Tillman. In swinging delivery, header down. Oh, it looked like a free header for Weston McKennie, but he couldn't find a way through. Referee has since blown his whistle, and McKennie, with a red, green and yellow streak in his hair, thought there he might have had an easy header at goal, Dion.
Should have been an easy header at goal, to be honest with you. I mean, there's got to be 3. Yeah, I think there's a handball by his teammate, actually. That's why it's been pulled back. But yeah, 3 red, white and blue shirts all could have headed that ball. The marking was awful. The balling's very good, let's get it right. But you cannot afford to have 3 players in the box. That's the zonal game. Ozzy, you'll know that as well. When you play zonal, you just got to go and head the ball when it's in front of you.
Yeah, you do. And they got it all wrong there, Australia. And they allowed McKennie in, as you mentioned, a clear space. And he's got to score, Dion. He really does. When you get that level of chance, 6, maybe 7 yards out within the frame of the goal, just completely lets it skid off his head as it comes in, rather than just using the pace on it and guiding it in the goal from that distance. Big let-off for Australia.
United States leading by a 1-0. Quarter of an hour played on BBC Radio 5 Live, the first of 4 games throughout tonight and the early hours of tomorrow morning. Of course, from 11 o'clock, we will bring you Scotland's second group stage match when they take on Morocco. That's followed by the other game in that group, Brazil against Haiti. And then the second game of match day 2 in this very group, featuring the United States and Australia, which is Turkey against Paraguay, 4 o'clock here on BBC Radio 5 Live. And then tomorrow, 4 more games, starting with the Netherlands-Sweden from 6 o'clock. Down on the floor is Weston McKennie, takes a tumble over on this near side touchline. The first yellow card of the day is shown to the fastest player in the World Cup so far, in Jordan Boss, but he was lost for pace there with McKennie.
Yeah, slightly harsh. I think he's just trying to turn his body to match the run of McKennie, and in doing so his arms come out and he sort of just put his hand in the face of McKennie, who went down quite easily, I thought, once he felt that hand to the face. But referee had a clear view of it. He probably thought there was a bit more in it than that. But again, positive from the United States of America, actually getting the ball, trying to look forward, trying to pass it forward, chase forward. McKennie running after his own pass on that occasion. And Australia are struggling to stay in the game at the moment.
United States, who are leading by a 0-0. They've made the knockouts in each of their last 3 World Cups that they've been present in, and this result would secure a spot in the last 32 as well. A free kick comes in and he's hooked over his own shoulder by Weston McKennie, just away from the penalty spot. That flies over the bar into those Australian fans who are behind that goal to our right-hand side. And it is, after 17 minutes, Dion, USA 1, Australia 0.
Yeah, rightly so as well. Australia finding it very difficult to get out of their own half, to be honest with you, because of the energy of the USA.
Here comes the pressure again. This time the cross comes in from the left-hand side through the 6-yard box in the air, but nobody able to get there, not least for Lauren Balogun, who is certainly the target man and the confidence man for United States football.
Yeah, always look at these moments, Dion have been in them themselves, where the United States of America want to press. They were very impressive at it in the first game, and yet Australia are trying to play out from the back. They're exposing themselves. The 2 centre-halves in possession of the ball inside their own penalty area, trying to play passes from there when the opposition are trying to press. We saw, in the Europa League final, what Aston Villa did. Sometimes, if someone wants to press that much, go over it. Try a different way. Don't play into your opposition's strength. And Australia are doing that, Dion.
Yeah, it is. I don't know why they don't see it, because the USA are set up to do that. So why not just play your first one short and then get it long? Mix it up a little bit. Don't be too predictable, because I know that the US are wanting Australia to try and do that. They get the ball back very quickly. It's like watching, if you ever watched the old Man City from way back, that's what they did. They get it back quickly. They score goals in the final third, and very, very clinical in those positions.
And USA leading by a 0-0. BBC Radio 5 Live into the 19th minute of the game on the west coast of Australia, on the border, almost just 2 hours away from Vancouver in Canada, as infield from the right-hand touchline comes Serginho Dest into the centre circle. It's a short pass to Tim Ream, the now 38-year-old Tim Ream, experienced with his blonde hair tied tightly back in a bun, playing his football these days at Charlotte FC in America. Found out he was in the squad whilst carrying a box of bobbleheads for his kids. Perhaps wasn't expecting to be named in, but he got the call, a pleasant surprise, and he's now at the back. Maybe a surprise for him, maybe not a surprise when it comes to how much he has played under Mauricio Pochettino. Long field ball to the right-hand side. Dest with a clever little flick in field. I don't think necessarily Weston McKennie was expecting, but Australia can't clear it. They clear it straight back to Dest, who's now awaiting the support to come on the edge of the penalty area. Can't get it out of his feet, could Tyler Adams. That allows Australia to get hold of the ball and hack it long. Chases on for Toure. Goalkeeper is well out of his penalty area. Matt Freese belts that away, all in blue, the United States goalkeeper, and Australia have it back with their own shot stopper now.
Yeah, they're pretty much first to everything at the minute. Mauricio Pochettino obviously set his team out with the intent to go after the game, and he'll be pretty impressed and pleased with the first 20 minutes. It's probably gone right according to how he saw it in his mind. Get the ball forward, be quick when we're in possession, look for 1-2s, everybody make sure there's no such thing as a bad pass. You chase down everything, you be on the front foot, and they're just outplaying Australia at the moment.
Yeah, Tony Popovic will have some thinking to do. We are a couple of minutes away from the hydration break that will come midway through this first half. Does believe there is a growth for this Australia team. Does Popovic, a former player himself, 58 times capped for his country. Didn't want to have to sell the Socceroos shirt to anybody. Long ball over the top, Balogun chases, goalkeeper's out quickly off his goal line, and Patrick Beach smothers the ball whilst diving to the floor. It was a quick decision from the Australian goalkeeper, but he got that one right, Dion. Oh, but the defence haven't, and now McKennie takes over. Balogun on the turn, left foot shot. And the sliding challenge, the lunge to block the ball is a successful one. Now Australia trying to use their own pace down the right-hand side. Jacob Italiano turns in from the far side touchline. The pace, the momentum of the Australian counter-attack has fizzled out. Australia now having to work through the lines of the American team once again. Rolled out towards the far side touchline. Robinson goes with his man, steps in, does well enough, blocks him off, and allows the clearance to be hacked long and away, Dion.
Yeah, we've myself and Leon have played in games like this where you are under so much pressure, you think to yourself, just get back, and all the yellow shirts are back, but they're not really in any position. No one's taking responsibility at all, so they're just there defending, but they don't really know what they're doing. They look a bit disjointed. USA look compact, they look comfortable on the ball, the energy levels are there, the noise in the stadium is starting to pick up with the USA fans. They sense that they need to help their team as well and their players.
Australia in possession, inside their own half, played out towards Italiano. Toure flicks it up, out towards the right-hand side, rolls it across his body. Here's Matthew Leckie, goes early with the cross, and racing in was Velu Pillay, but the American sliding challenge comes in behind for a corner.
Yeah, much more impressive from Australia. All they did was they beat the press, they played one round the corner into their strikers. Suddenly they found themselves 3-on-3. Good ball out wide from Toure. And then it was just about, was the delivery going to be good? Was there going to be people in the box to attack it? Well, both were correct, and actually the United States of America did really well to actually force that out for a corner.
Long left leg of Alex Freeman was the one who sent it behind for this corner. Tony Popovic wrapped his hands on the back of his head, the Australian coach. And now there's a little wrestling match going on in the middle of the penalty area. Harry Souttar, the captain of Australia, trying to work his way round his man, but tightly marked by Freeman, who's almost gone down hip height like he's in a rugby scrum there, trying to get the better of the 6'6" Souttar as the ball is floated towards him on the penalty spot. It is a header at goal. Touch there from Weston McKennie, sees it behind for another Australia corner on this near side.
Well, we know Souttar is very good in the air. We've seen it up close, and the USA seem to know it as well, because they've got Freeman, who's literally trying to mark him as tight as you possibly can. He's trying to get in his armpit. He's trying to get that tight, and he's just called his teammate Burgess over, has Souttar, just to try and get a bit of distance between him and his marker. The marker is incredibly tight.
Souttar raises his right arm up. He wants to call for the ball. Infringement on the goalkeeper inside the 6-yard box. That breaks down that little bit of Australian pressure. And midway through the first half then, the referee blows for the break, the hydration break, so both sets of players will come over towards this near side, get instructions from their coaches, take on certainly fluids as well, work with some of the tactical coaches, and as they do that, we can join Richard Foster from 5 Live News to get the latest on this train crash that's happened in the Bedford area this evening. Richard.
Thanks, Mike. Yes, 2 passenger trains have collided near Bedford and a major emergency response is underway. All lines are currently blocked between Luton and Bedford this evening. We've had some details about the trains involved. They were both from East Midlands Railway and the company's issued a statement. It says the 1640 EMR train from Corby to London St Pancras was involved in a collision with a 10 to 4 Nottingham to London St Pancras service at Bedford South. The company is currently on the scene and working with Network Rail to assist the emergency services. Here's our reporter, Jack Surfleet.
So as far as we're aware, 2 trains, the 2 East Midlands services, have collided not too far from Bedford this evening. At that point in the line, we've been taking a look, and you can see that there are several tracks that are stretched across that line because a number of different services use the line. You've got commuter services that will run on a slow line and express services that will run through on a fast line. Now, we don't know the details as to the full circumstances of what's happened here. Both of those trains are on one of those lines. Now, we don't know if that's supposed to be the case, and the rail investigation team will obviously be looking into that. We can't read too much into it, but it's worth considering that a whole range of different services run through here. It's a busy area of the line.
Our reporter Jack Surfleet speaking a little earlier. Well, the Transport Secretary Heidi Alexander says she's deeply concerned about the crash. The 2 main rail unions, the RMT and ASLEF, have both issued statements this evening. Dave Calf is the General Secretary of the Train Drivers Union, ASLEF. He says, we're deeply concerned by the reports of the collision between 2 trains near Bedford. Our thoughts at this moment are with all the staff and passengers on board. Thank you to the emergency services for their ongoing work responding to this incident. The RMT statement says we're deeply concerned by the reports of a train collision between Bedford and Luton and the serious injuries sustained by onboard train staff and passengers. The thoughts of the whole union are with those affected, and we continue to monitor the situation. And the Rail Accident Investigation Branch has a team of inspectors on site at the moment. They're starting to gather evidence. The RAIB will investigate exactly what happened and come up with recommendations to prevent the same thing happening again. So that's the news tonight about the 2 passenger trains colliding near Bedford. A major emergency response is underway. More at half-time, but for now let's head back to Seattle and Mike Minay.
Richard, thank you. We'll continue to keep you updated with that on BBC Radio 5 Live, latest on the BBC News website as well. Players back out after the hydration break. What was interesting, Dion, this week, listening on the Football Daily podcast a couple of days ago, Thomas Frank talking about how he'd used this hydration break to maximise the best out of players. He says for the first minute, forget any form of instruction. Second minute would all be about giving the tactical input, and then the final minute, it's down to the players' individual prep.
It is. It's the boys are going to take some water on, because I can guarantee you down on pitch level it's even hotter than it is up here. Most of the stands are in bright sunshine, and the players will need those drinks and instruction as well. Sometimes it helps to take that last little bit of information on that can help your game. So yeah, the managers are going to use it to the best of their ability. And you know what? USA have taken on that first 22 and a half minutes instructions to the letter.
On the games you've been at so far, have you felt a real momentum twist change when that's happened?
We'll come on to that in a minute, because here's Anthony Robinson storming away down the left-hand side. His cross is overhit, and then it has gone out of play before it bent back in. Chikati had it covered if needed from the deep cross, but goal kick to Australia is given. Yeah, after the hydration drinks, Aussie, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, you do tend to sometimes see different formations. I did Canada the other day, and you can see after the hydration break there was very much a stay away, don't press, whereas before they were doing a bit of a press, so they might do something for the first 5 minutes after the first hydration break and then go back to like. But I think it's a great thing. I think it really does get you thinking. 4 quarters, I think, is brilliant.
Be interesting to see how the momentum shifts as well after that break. It has been all the United States so far prior to the hydration break. 28 minutes played, United States 1, Australia 0. A Cameron Burgess own goal is the difference between the two sides at the moment. Balogun's crossing could not be steered anywhere but the back of the net for Cameron Burgess. Balogun lively as he was in the first game as well. Slightly slower pace, almost walking pace for the United States on the ball. Chris Richards just on the edge of the centre circle.
You know what, Mike? I'll tell you, Mike, I don't think you're going to need a hydration break on Stoke on a Tuesday night, let me tell you.
is Weston McKennie. Certainly not. Plenty of hydration for the pitch, I know, Tuesday night in Stoke, isn't there, with the rain coming down? Here's Tim Ream. Richards, the former, or the current rather, Crystal Palace man, I should say. Here's Dest, right-hand touchline, near side, United States. The red and white wavy striped shirts are from left to right as we enter the final 15 minutes or so of this first half. The navy shorts, the white socks. Australia all in yellow. A little bit standoffish, certainly, as Chris Richards is allowed to roll the ball under his bright pink boots. There must have been some sort of marketing deal done with the players here in the States. I am seeing a lot of pink boots at this World Cup. Arcing ball from Tim Ream, isn't dealt with too effectively by Cecchetti. Needed Italiano to help him out. The best thing Italiano could do, Dion, was to head it behind for a corner.
Yeah, panic slightly there, to be honest with you. I'm sure Leon Osman had a pair of pink boots once when I played against him.
There were black boots right up until the end, Dion, and then I had white for a couple of seasons. That was it.
Good. That's as mad as you went, is it?
That was as mad as I went.
It will be a corner then to the United States far side. Malik Tillman goes over to pick the ball up. The man from Bayer Leverkusen, the man drafted in last summer as part of the recruitment drive after Florian Wirtz left Leverkusen. Germany in action tomorrow, by the way. We'll bring you that on 5 Live. Corner in, swinging towards Chris Richards. Ball didn't connect with his head, and now there's a foot race on towards this near side involving Alex Freeman. Gets a little nudge off the Australian player onto the ball, and it is a throw-in to the US. And Freeman, I think, just has to move some of the stewards out the way there as he gets ready to take this long throw-in, which he then angles back towards the halfway line. Chris Richards, short little pass forward, uses Tyler Adams into the centre circle for Tim Ream. Misplaced pass with a little too much on it out towards Anthony Robinson on the far side, but a long leg from the former Wigan man, now Fulham man. He's able to stop the ball, and United States keep the possession with Chris Richards inside the centre circle. Nearly 32 minutes played. United States 1, Australia 0. First of 4 games on BBC Radio 5 Live. Tomorrow we'll bring you the Prem final as well. Northampton Saints against Exeter Chiefs. Turn of pace, turning round the corner, and another yellow card is shown from the referee. Cecchetti now goes into the book, Leon.
Yeah, and I think it was a clear one. Good 1-2 again. Good bit of pace of play. Tillman into Balogun, plays it back to him, and yeah, it's a real rake actually down the left calf of Tillman as he's going past him. Wasn't quite sure how much contact there was at first, but you can clearly see it in the replay. And you know, I think at times that, you know, these hydration breaks really do change momentum, but it's certainly not so far in this one. I think the United States have really just kept control of this game.
So free kick to the United States here, over on the left-hand side, 25-30 yards from goal. Anthony Robinson, left-footed, swings it in towards Chris Richards, headed away on the 6-yard box, but a player goes down. Seen that a couple of times in this game, and it is going to be a free kick. O'Neill, the man floored, Dion.
Yeah, you know what, when you watch USA play, you can see that they're very sort of regimented in the way they play. Freeman and Dest down the right-hand side have got a really good relationship. They know when one goes, the other one comes in. Tillman and Robinson in the middle of that sort of midfield and to the left slightly. They know exactly how to work together as well. 2 up top as well. It's very, very organised, and they've been coached that way, and they're taking it onto the pitch to the letter, and it's working. Australia have no out ball at the moment because they've got nobody up top.
Knocked away by America. Australia do have a throw-in on that far side. Some celebrities flashed up on our screens there, but I'm going to be ignorant and say I've no idea who they were. Didn't recognise a single one of them.
Stop it! I'm getting embarrassed now. Stop it!
Oh, we'd be made well aware if you were on screen, Dion. I think we'd the whole stadium would be up in cheers. I was going to say up in arms. They would not be angry.
Up in arms, yeah.
As Australia try and turn it around the edge of their own defensive third, move the ball in field. The press comes from the United States, 2, 3, 4 players, and eventually no one can really get a real foothold of the ball, but the referee has given a free kick for a foul on Serginho Dest. Paris Hilton, one of the celebrities that is watching on in Seattle tonight. Dest was caught on his feet, goes over, referee makes the call there. She was apparently leading the chants pre-game. Did you see that, Dion? Did you see Paris Hilton there?
I did see Paris Hilton, yes. She didn't text me to tell me she was coming, but I'm very disappointed about that, to be honest. But it's all right, it's all right. What I am seeing, though, I'll tell you this, Mike, what I am seeing, the aggressive nature of the Australians, maybe a little bit of frustration creeping in as well, because they're not getting it their own way. USA are playing incredibly well, and they just can't get hold of the ball, so a lot of physicality from the Australians at the moment.
Des McKennie and Freeman all work the ball back down the right-hand side as now United States go to their left-hand side. Balogun fancies his pace up against Italiano, then slows the ball up, thought not to cross it in by the corner flag over on that left-hand side. Robinson turns it in, just pokes it 5 yards in field or so, goes over. Little pause whilst the players check that the referee hasn't blown his whistle. And then Freeman on the edge of the centre circle finds Tim Ream. 10 minutes to half-time, BBC Radio 5 Live. United States 1, Australia 0. Balogun, lovely pirouette on the ball, not once but twice. Italiano comes in from behind, and the referee says throw in. How about that from Folarin Balogun?
Yeah, good skill. Player full of confidence at the moment, and again, good forward pass, not playing sideways, into his feet inside the penalty area. Brought it in well, good couple of flicks, what we call round the world. It's just too many Australians near him in the end to make he couldn't get a shot at goal.
It's the kind of skill I'd expect from both of you on the football pitch. Those lovely little turns.
Is there two other players on this game? Is it just me and us?
Edit and kick it, Dion. Edit and kick it.
Keep it simple. As Tim Ream has the ball, and it's a simple pass out towards the left-hand side for him. Now Robinson muscling their way through here, the United States, trying to find a little gap on the left-hand side, and successfully so. Tillman was involved there. Round of applause for the press, the tempo, the pace that the United States have brought into this game. The Australian fans hushed a little bit behind that goal, that pocket of yellow behind the goal to our right-hand side. Referee just counting down the time on this throw-in here, and Jacob Italiano won't have too long to take it. In the end, he goes short. All that Australia can do is send it in the air towards the halfway line, and then with the United States winning the second ball, they play it forward. Loose one runs out towards this left-hand touchline. USA leading by a goal to nil, almost creeping up behind the Australian man was Balogun there, and the play turns over again.
They just can't string any passes together, Australia. Every time, you know, they're working so hard out of possession, and all they want is to just keep a couple of passes when they get the ball back, and USA are just not giving them the time.
Balogun with space to the right of the D, plays it further out wide for Des, left-footed cross into the penalty area. Plenty of yellow shirts back, one of them got hold of it for Australia. Then between them, communication-wise, it's almost like you clear it, no, you clear it, someone take control. Eventually Paul Lock-on-Engsler sends it out for a throw on this near side, but that has to be better from Australia, Dion.
Yeah, it does, and that's what I was saying. You clear it, because they've got so many players there, they don't really know who's doing what. You've got to take charge of a position or of a player and really do your job down there. They're at sixes and sevens. They're not quite sure. That pocket of yellow fans, by the way, behind our goal to our right, just have had nothing to cheer about. They all look very frustrated. They want to get involved, but their team have given them nothing at all.
Maybe in the second half they might. They will be shooting that way, Australia, in the second half. There is a dangerous clash here. Alex Freeman has gone down for the United States. Can't quite see who's down for Australia, but a nasty clash of heads on this near side touchline. It's Lock-on-Engsler who is down on his back, got his hands behind his head, so there'll be a little pause in play here, Leon.
Oh, that was a big clash of heads, really was. Two players fully committed to the ball, coming at it with pace as well. Neither really knew that the other person was there, that such was their commitment and their eyes on the ball. And as soon as it happened, I winced, certainly. I'm sure you did, Dion. I don't know how it sounded. I don't know if you could hear the connection from up there.
Yeah, it was. There was a bit of a slap, actually. Oz, we're not too far away, to be honest with you. You know, we were a tier up, but we're still quite close. And like you say, both fully committed, both of them down on the floor.
Yeah, Stretch is just making its way along the touchline here in front of the Australia dugout. Paul Lock-on-Engsler is sat up, so that's positive news where the Aussies are concerned. It's perhaps how Alex Freeman is shaping up. But almost here, another mini break for players certainly take on fluids. Just looking at that Australia bench, Dion, plenty of criticism their way for the way they've perhaps approached this first half, and Tony Popovic has had his players around him again.
Yeah, just maybe just calm down a bit. Stop panicking when you've got the ball. They're getting, as Ozzy said, they're getting closed down so quickly by the USA team that they're panicking and they're playing passes that are not on. Just calm it down slightly. I mean, our position here, you can see everything. You can see what's going on the benches, and actually, as you look to the right, behind that bank of golden yellow shirts, you can actually see the Seattle Mariners stadium. It's that close to this stadium. You can actually see inside the stadium. It's just a proper sporting hub, this place, and they love their football.
Dion, with the Australians, you're talking about the sense of panic when they get the ball, certainly in deeper areas. Do you think that's partly because they've got so many men back? You touched on it about taking responsibility. When seeing a couple of them look up, there's no forward pass, there's no obvious forward pass to actually get them out of the positions they're in. Do you think that's partly the reason for the panic?
Yeah, maybe, because you're looking up and the first thing is, if I'm playing centre forward, I'm wanting him to just drop it into my chest and give your team a chance to get up the pitch, maybe 10-15 yards and get a bit of a breather. They haven't had a chance to have a breather because they're looking up, no one's there, they're trying to play a pass that's not on, they give the ball away. You have to play around this Australian team. Burgess and Suter, they want it chipped into the box all the time. Go around them, and they seem to find it very difficult to defend.
Play back underway. United States leading by a goal to nil. 4 minutes left of the first 45 on the clock. There'll be a little bit of time added on, of course. The Mariners baseball ground that Dion was mentioning, separated only by a theatre here from Lumen Field. Not quite as close as the Parc des Princes and Paris FC's ground in Paris, but probably similar, slightly less in distance, that Dundee and Dundee United share, as Mauricio Pochettino scoops up the ball and hands it to Alex Freeman for a United States throw, which is back onto the edge of their own defensive third. Chris Richards, Tim Ream. Seems at times, particularly when they have it at the back, Leon, because there's no Australian press, that this is where the Americans will try and conserve energy.
Yes, maybe. Well, that just shows the contrast in the teams. The Australian centre-halves haven't had a second to get the foot on the ball and make a pass, and at the other end of the pitch, Ream and Richards, they've had no pressure anywhere near. They've completely dictated the play.
Kenny trying to flip the ball around the corner. He can't find his man in Pepe, but he gets the ball back when it ricochets off a defender. Here's Freeman, right-footed, simple pass out towards the right-hand touchline, uses Dest. As Australia fail to clear with that, they're just inviting the US almost each time to have a second ball to get the possession back, and it's Malik Tillman making himself a nuisance. He's eventually pulled down via his shoulders, right on the byline, just outside the penalty area, and the referee, Dion, very simply and obviously gives the United States a free kick.
Yeah, it's just complete frustration, because the US side are doing little bits of skill and it's all working. They're winning on the skill front, they're winning on the strength front, the pace front. They're ticking all the boxes, and Australia are just getting frustrated. Had to be careful there because they're in their own box, right down in the touchline, near the touchline as well. So just be careful. 70% possession for the US.
Free kick, which Anthony Robinson, left-footed, smashes towards the edge of the penalty, and then the long-range shot comes in from Dest. It loops up and it's in. The header is there. Alex Freeman pants first, but the flag goes up and it won't count. That must have been as the initial shot came in and flew up into the air on the deflection on the block. Freeman pounced, but it will be ruled out, and it remains the United States 1, Australia 0.
Yeah, they thought they'd scored a second there. I mean, the assistant there is sharp as anything, and he gets it absolutely spot on. To be honest with you, it could have been, I don't know, 4. There was 3 players that were offside, and the one that was most offside was Freeman. Assistant gets it absolutely spot on.
Yeah, he stands with his hands on his hips next to the referee, who's just held the play up here. So the check is going on. The VAR officials want to check this goal. It did look on our initial replay, Leon, offside, but was there something more in there?
I wondered whether there was a handball.
I've got to say, no, I'm having a look at this. Yeah, I think from the pictures I have, whether I'm in line or not, I think that's offside. There might even be two players offside.
Yeah, it's Mohamed Touré on this near side of the angle.
If those lines are wrong, Mike, then I'm wrong. But if those lines are right,
there's
I'm definitely right.
There's that many American players. I think there's 3 American players in a tight area. The one that scores the goal might actually be onside. It is really close. You're right. There's
Very
a heel
close.
Versus. The referee's out of the conversation now.
Referee's done the square in the air, and I think he's going to make an announcement here. This goal might stand.
After factual review, the goal scorer was not in offside position. Goal is correct.
Wow. So now the bench explodes, and Alex Freeman runs away into the corner down to the left-hand side, mobbed by all the substitutes. The United States are heading for the knockout stages as it stands. That second goal feels crucial in this ground. An explosion around Seattle. Freeman's header, he wasn't offside as the initial shot came in and flew up into the air. It looks like Touré's playing him onside. He capitalised, he was quicker than the goalkeeper, heads it into the bottom right-hand corner, and the United States lead Australia by 2 goals to 0.
That's probably why I played 22 years as a player and didn't get involved with officiating. That is an unbelievable call by the VAR crew. Well done if you've got that absolutely spot on. I mean, they've come out as well, because what the Australian back 4, back 5, they've really squeezed out quickly. Bit of a ricochet, there's a block on the ball, and then those USA players there have got to the ball first and just headed that into the back of the net. I got that one completely wrong. Assistant got it absolutely spot on. Well done to the VAR, and you know what, they did it. They deserve this 2-0 lead.
Yeah, they definitely deserve 2-0 at half-time. That's been the least of the difference between the two teams. But you're right, Dion, the Australian defence, the majority came up really quickly, and they would have caught the the US trio offside, but just one player stayed in. I don't know if it was Chirkati at the far post, just stayed a little bit deeper than the rest, and in that moment he did catch Balogun, or he would have caught Balogun offside, but it was Freeman that actually got to the ball there first. It was a block by Suter with his thigh. I wondered whether his arm was involved initially. It was actually a really good block, but the United States got on the end of it, and you're right, it's a scoreline they deserve.
I think it was the closest player to the official, which is why he probably made that call. Thought he couldn't see down the line himself. VAR just took over, and it didn't take too long as well. That's what you want, quick decisions, get them right, and we're all happy.
Yeah, on the still image I've seen, United States here have a corner on the far side. Player on the far side of the 6-yard box. I thought it was to do with Touré on the near side. It wasn't. The player on the far side who's coming back into an onside position or trying to stand up the line has actually got his right leg bent behind him, and that's what's playing Freeman on, it would seem. Corner here to the United States. 7 minutes of added time was shown. 2.5 have been played, but given that VAR check right on the end of the first 45, I think we're going to go beyond 7. Corner comes in swinging towards that of Chris Richards. Referee says Richards has just pushed his man in the back, and it's been given as an Australian free kick inside their own penalty area. Getting another look here, Leon, at the offside decision, and we've got the automated screen. Yeah,
actually, we're seeing it back in that moment when contact's made on the shot. He's quite a bit onside, he's probably a two foot maybe, but when people are moving across each other at pace, and one player's running one way, one player's running the other, it can be so close. But it doesn't matter now. The goal was given. Freeman is on the score sheet. United States are 2-0 ahead, and it's no less than they deserve.
That wasn't even the defender I was looking at. That's probably why I got it wrong.
You have to feel for Jordan Boss. It's, if you were in a half walking motion, if you're in between taking one step and another, it's that bent leg coming behind you that is playing Freeman on, and that's the difference, and that's why it's 2-0. USA have another free kick for a handball from Jordan Boss. That's a couple of minutes he wants to forget, I think. Two rather unfortunate events, as he was almost leaning forward for the ball, it hits his left forearm, and that has given the US a free kick. Some Aussie fans with the bucket hats and the corks hanging down, very Steve Irwin of them, watching on. Tony Popovich The face like thunder on the touchline there. He was not looking happy, stern-faced. He's taken his black suit off. I'm not surprised. Black's probably the worst colour you could be wearing in Seattle today, Dion. I say that with you wearing a black t-shirt. Yeah.
But you're right. He's got his arms folded as soon as that goal went in as well. There was a sort of a body language that said, "Oh no," and then he seen the flag go up and he seemed to want to rally the troops, and then it went the other way again. So yeah, he's going to be absolutely seething that his team haven't really got into the game. They haven't relaxed into the game. They've had no joy in this game. Yes, it's all down to the USA and the way they've set up, but give yourself a chance, get up the pitch, go long for a couple of minutes.
So when it comes to the half-time talks, we hit 5 minutes of the 7 that were added on. Leon, is this a personnel issue for Australia, or is it tactics?
I think it's tactics. I think the 5 at the back clearly hasn't worked. I think you've actually played into United States of America's hands. I think that you need to be a bit more forward thinking. I think knowing that they're going to pressure, you want to play one over the top. That tends to mean that you probably need to go with at least, you know, a guy close to your striker, maybe even go with 2 up front. But the Australian striker's been Toure. He's been so isolated. They've not been able to get the ball forward. They've had no time to think. There's not been an easy pass anywhere on the Australia team because they've got too many men in a line across that back line. All 5 of them. There's no easy, nice pass into the midfield area where America have dominated.
So 6 minutes of the 7 have gone. Tony Popovic, who says as a manager he idolises Carlo Ancelotti, certainly had the look of a disgruntled Ancelotti on the touchline there, minus the eyebrow. That wasn't raised yet, but maybe that'll come in the second half. United States leading Australia by 2-0. This will be enough to see USA through to the knockouts, and if Turkey and Paraguay draw later, then the USA will be through as group winners. USA take on Turkey on match day 3 of this group. 2-0, they lead. Seattle will be happy. The United States have won their last 7 games in Seattle, although it was 10 years since their last match here, a 2-1 win over Ecuador back in June 2016. Can they make the first half even better? They were 3 up against Paraguay. They're now in search of a third here against Australia. They've broken away from deep inside their own half, trying to move the ball out towards this near side. Freeman, scorer of the second goal, gets into the penalty area, lays it back. Deslo shot, diving down to his right-hand side to make the save was Patrick Beach, but it looked like it might have been sneaking in, Dion.
Yeah, Dest, I think he's just snuck in. He was actually going to go round his teammate. He decided to go inside, gets himself into a shooting position, not too far from the edge of the D on the right-hand side. Tries to curl it in, but unfortunately couldn't get it past the keeper. Right
from Dest, former Ajax, Barcelona, AC Milan man as well. As here come Australia on a rare attack. Boss sneaking in on the left-hand side. He was losing ground on the ball as it rolled over the byline. It goes out for a goal kick. Boss isn't happy with Alex Freeman, and those two are having words as the referee calls the end of the first 45 minutes. And there's the spice between Australia and the United States that we mentioned in the build-up, but it's Australia who can't handle the heat at the moment. 2 goals in the first half from a dominant USA side, Dion, that lead through the goals. Firstly, an own goal from Cameron Burgess, and then Freeman just before the end of the first 45.
Yeah, the noise is incredible when anything happens and it's a USA player that does well, pushing somebody off the pitch, a tackle, a goal, a move. The noise is incredible. 90% USA fans in here. There's an odd bit of yellow to our right, but I just feel the power and the energy and the effort from the USA, quality as well, has been far outweighed what Australia have had to offer. Popovic has got a half-time with a lot of work involved.
This might have been the pressured game of this group. They both kind of felt beforehand, certainly the pundits, Leon, that they were the weakest sides in the group. USA have the pressure of being hosts. They've not shown an inch of that. No,
not at all. They've actually really enjoyed it. They've bought into it. They've used the crowd. They've known which kind of football actually gets the crowd behind you the most, and that is intense, forward thinking, go and win the ball back, be getting after the game, and really, as I say, enjoying the football, and they've done that brilliantly. They deserve to be at least 2-0 up in this game. Those USA fans have thoroughly enjoyed everything they've seen. It's been complete dominance in the first half, and if Australia are to get back into it, they've got a lot of thinking to do at half-time.
Plenty of fancy dress in the crowd at the break. Aaron, we've seen George Washington wigs out, plenty of Star-Spangled Banners as well, and rightly so flying high, because that's exactly what the United States are doing in the first half. United States 2, Australia 0.
Yeah, Maurizio Pochettino's side very much in control in Seattle, back with Mike, Leon and Dion for the second half shortly. But first, at 8:54 here on 5 Live, let's get the latest BBC News with Richard Foster.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The voice of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Thanks, Aaron. Good evening. Let's bring you up to date on tonight's main news story. A major emergency response is underway after 2 trains crashed on the line between Bedford and Luton earlier. East Midlands Railway has confirmed 2 of its services were involved at Bedford South. All of its services in and out of St Pancras have been suspended for the rest of today. It's not known how many people have been injured just yet. Luton and Dunstable Hospital has confirmed on social media it's supporting those injured in the crash and is asking the public to only go there if they're to their emergency department if they have a genuine medical emergency. Well, our reporter Holly Nichols is close to the scene. Hi there, Holly. What exactly can you see there right now?
Hi there. Yes, so I'm at the scene in Bedford. There is a road cordon in place currently. Buses have come to the scene to evacuate the passengers from the side of the road, but I've been here the best part of 2 hours now, and there has been, I would say, upwards of 50 to 60 passengers who have been evacuated, who have been sat on the side of the road waiting for their loved ones to pick them up. Amongst these people, there are some who are injured quite badly. I would say I've seen people limping with blood on their clothes. I've seen people with bandages on their face and around their head. I've seen people severely distressed, just in shock, if I'm honest, not quite knowing where they are or how they're going to get home. There's a lot of families reuniting with their loved ones here this evening as well, so lots of hugs and tears. I've been speaking with one man who described the incident. He said there was just a loud bang. He initially thought it was a bomb that had gone off, and he said there were passengers who unfortunately had broken limbs, severe injuries, and some who are unresponsive. What sort of emergency response did we see? Since I've been here, I've seen police, I've seen paramedics and ambulances, and I've seen the fire service here as well. Currently at the scene, attending the scene, there are police officers still. Obviously, I'm quite a way away from the railway scene itself, so I assume there are paramedics at the scene there, because I have seen a lot of ambulances go past in the last couple of hours. Does it look like all the passengers are now accounted for? It's difficult to say, if I'm honest, because I believe they've been evacuated via 2 different ways, and I was speaking to a passenger earlier who said they were triaged. So the passengers I'm seeing are the ones who obviously have either been seen by paramedics or are free to go. The ones who have been unresponsive of severe injuries will have been taken to hospital. Currently, we've had 2 or 3 buses of passengers have been evacuated already, and there are some who are waiting on the side of the road for family members to pick them up. Holly Nichols at the scene in Bedfordshire. Thanks very much indeed for speaking to us here on 5 Live. Well, Peter Knapp was on one of the trains involved in that crash and spoke to us earlier.
I'm quite shocked at the moment. I was in the front carriage of the train that collided into another one, and as the train collided with that, it was a sudden explosion feeling. I got up and I saw that the chairs had actually debolted and moved off the rails. And as I got up to see everyone, there was a lot of people with faces bloodied, limbs broken. It felt like a bomb had exploded. So I was a bit worried about it being a terrorist incident. So I started to take video footage because I thought that was probably the right thing to do. I managed to get off the train because I'm quite slight. I was able to squeeze the doors open and get out just to see if there was any signs of explosion. Luckily, there wasn't, as far as I could tell. It appeared to be a train collision with another train ahead of us. I don't know why it had stopped on the trains or if it was moving slowly. But once the trains had collided, there were screams, there was smoke, there was chaos, a lot of people crying.
Just how busy were the trains involved, Peter?
I think it was about half to a third full where I was. I was in the front carriage. And I think it was a bit more full because, of course, when it goes to London, people go to the front carriage. Hard to say how many people were in the back.
And how fast was the train going at the time of the collision?
It felt to me as though it was going about half speed, 3/4, but it's hard for me to remember. Other people on the train say that it slowed down very, very quickly before impact. I didn't feel it. To me, it was a sudden impact. I didn't hear any warnings, any alarms, horns, no explosion or anything to indicate a collision. It just happened.
Peter Knapp, who was on one of the trains involved in that crash in Bedfordshire, speaking to me a little earlier here on 5 Live. We'll have more on that at full time, of course. Just one other story this hour. The former Shadow Chancellor John McDonnell has told 5 Live there isn't a viable alternative to Andy Burnham as the next Prime Minister. He's been speaking after Mr Burnham's victory in the Makerfield by-election. The Transport Secretary, Heidi Alexander, says Sir Keir Starmer should set out a timetable for leaving Number 10. And then just a quick update and a recap on tonight's main news story. There's a major emergency response underway after two trains crashed on the line between Bedford and Luton. 2 East Midlands Railway services were involved at Bedford South. More at full time.
5 Live Sports.
This summer, the stage is set.
She goes aerial again. And it's going to be another 6. England and Wales host the ICC Women's T20 World Cup.
Across the tournament, we'll bring you ball-by-ball commentary of every match, plus updates, analysis and reaction as the story unfolds.
Through comes in. Oh, hits. That's brilliant. The ICC Women's T20 World Cup 2026 on 5 Live Sport.
Listen live with the BBC Sounds app.
The FIFA World Cup 2026
with Aaron Paul
on 5 Live Sports.
Yeah, just after 9 o'clock this Friday night, we'll be back in Seattle shortly. The United States very much in control against Australia and with one foot in the group stages of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Let's turn our attention to cricket for the moment, though. New Zealand are in total control of the second test against England. Let's cross over to the Oval and hear from Ellie Aldroyd.
Well, New Zealand end today thoroughly on top, 252 for 3, so they have a lead of 352 runs and 7 second innings wickets still standing. Daniel Norcross is sitting alongside me. At lunch, England had a deficit of just 100. They took the first 2 New Zealand wickets cheaply, 28 for 2, but then from that point onwards, it was all New Zealand. It was not a pretty sight from an England point of view.
Well, it wasn't. I mean, what I would say is that James Rew will not have kept to bowling of this speed very often. Craig Overton, with the fastest bowler he probably keeps to when he plays for Somerset. He's a young man. It's his batting that's kind of got him into the side, really. Jamie Smith would be the normal gloveman for this. And there was just this feeling that if England could get 4 or 5, then yes, it's still a good pitch, but they could put pressure on New Zealand and even have hope of bowling them out today, which, had they done that, would have given them, it's never going to be a modest target, but on a surface like this, where England very nearly made 370 odd last year against India, they'd fancy their chances. But that drop catch, it was low, it was to his left, it was going very quickly, but when you see it, technically it wasn't quite right, didn't take the step, didn't use both hands. England found a way in the end to contain New Zealand's batters. There's a slightly tricky conundrum for New Zealand. They've got to work out, if they don't get bowled out, when to pull out. They've got to win this game if they hope to win the series, because they've lost the first, there's only 2 matches left, and they need to give themselves enough time on a surface that's not responsive.
Brief thought, though, to finish. Ben Stokes has been playing today for Durham. Everyone seems to indicate that he is ready to come back for Trent Bridge. Gus Atkinson taking a couple of wickets for Surrey today in the county championship. There's no way in the world that those two aren't going to be welcomed back with open arms at Trent Bridge.
You would imagine they'd come straight back into the team, and it makes an enormous difference. It balances England's batting lineup from 1 to 7. It also balances their bowling lineup, because we know what Ben Stokes can do. And Gus Atkinson's clearly in good form. A couple of weeks for Surrey and all those wickets at Lords the other week. So, yeah, they'll be very keen to do that. No disrespect to the players who are here, but it's a very inexperienced lineup England have got, and they are showing that really by hanging on.
252 for 3 then at close of play here at the Oval. New Zealand will take that big lead of 352 runs into day 4, and Henry Nicholls will be looking to extend his century as well as long as he can into the day.
Ellie, thank you so much. The TMS crew are back on Sports Extra tomorrow morning from 11 o'clock. To golf, players continuing at the second round of the US Open at Shinnecock Hills. Ian Carter.
Rory McIlroy out on the course and steady as he goes. No drop shots, one birdie. That came at the par 5 fifth. He eagled it yesterday, very nearly eagled it again today. Tapped in for the birdie that's taken him to 2 under par. So within 5 shots of the lead, in a share of 6th place with Colin Morikawa, who was round with a 65 earlier today. It's Wyndham Clark who's setting the pace at 7 under par after a 69 today. Matt Fitzpatrick's 70 puts him in a share of 2nd place with Xander Schauffele and Harry Higgs, who's out on the course at the moment. Max Grayson also at 3 under par. Scotty Scheffler, the world number 1, level par for his opening 5 holes. He's at 2 over.
Ian, thank you so much. So, the United States 2, Australia 0 is the half-time score from Group D. Scotland versus Morocco to come. That one kicking off at 11 o'clock with commentary here on 5 Live Sport. Pat Nevin is on commentary duty for us in Boston. Evening, Pat. Afternoon, Pat. Always confused about what to say. Great to have you with us for this one. What a big, big game. If last week wasn't massive, this one feels it is. It's another week and another storyline for Scotland.
Yeah, every time you come to a Scotland game just now, it's the biggest game in Scotland's recent history. It was when we played against Denmark, it was then when we played against Haiti, and now it is again when we play against the Moroccans today. So yeah, massive one. If Scotland can get any sort of result at all, a point, that will be enough. There's already a lovely buzz in the stadium, mostly because the Americans who are here have been enjoying what they're watching. So the lovely roars going up when America scored the 2 goals there. So there's a nice little feeling building up already, but it's a great stadium here, and the Scots made it their home last time they were here and won that game against Haiti.
To the football itself, Pat, do we expect Steve Clarke to be a little bit more pragmatic than he was against Haiti, maybe switching to a back 5?
I would be utterly staggered if he didn't. We were on Live 5 Live this morning, and I wrote a piece for a Scottish newspaper. It was in yesterday, and the team I picked was like a 3-4-2-1. So you get a back 3. Tierney needs to come in, Kieran Tierney, and he was great with Robbo and Andy Robertson on the left-hand side, and they can work well defensively, and it has to be said that they're not bad going forward, the Moroccans, so they'll work together very, very well if we do go for that system, but also if they need to turn that into attack, they work brilliantly going forward. So yeah, you say it's not negative. I don't see it as negative. I just see that for this type of game, you cannot allow yourself to lose the midfield. And if you play 4-4-2 again, you will lose the midfield with bells on. So I would be staggered if Stevie Clarke did that.
It's diligent, isn't it, rather than negative? It's playing the tournament itself. Speaking of the tournament, you talked about how those American fans are enjoying what they're seeing. They're enjoying the company of the Scotland fans as well. No Scotland, no party is what they sing. But it feels like Glasgow, Edinburgh and every other part of Scotland are in the US and just taking over and enjoying it.
Absolutely. I was out last night, and every Scotsman and Scotswomen that talked to me just said, "Hi, I'm from Kilmarnock," and that's the sentence starts, and it's everywhere. I'm from Aberdeen, I'm from the Islands, I'm whatever, and they're from all over Scotland. I mean, probably slightly less from Glasgow and Edinburgh than the rest of the country, because they are great travellers from all over Scotland. But yeah, they've made the Americans fall in love with them. But they're kind of used to that. It happened in Germany as well. When Germany was so many Scots over there, it was ridiculous. A little bit cheaper than it is to come over to the States. But they've came over, they've been fun, they've been dressed, the kilts have been there. And it's really hard not to love what they do. And the fact that they came over here with their hearts open, and a lot of people before you came to America were, casting aspersions about the entire nation. They might have the problems in America, but there is a friendliness, there is a kindness, there is an openness, and the Scots have mirrored that back at themselves.
Well, Pat Nevin, we love you. Can't wait to be with you for that game tonight on 5 Live Sports. Scotland versus Morocco on the way. It's time, though, for the second half of the United States of America versus Australia in the company of Dion Dublin, Leon Osman. But first, your commentator, Mike Miney.
Aaron, thank you. Not that we're getting ahead of ourselves here, but at half-time, Leon Osman's been plotting his route for England past the group stages. He's trying to figure out who they might be playing. Portugal at the moment.
Just trying to know when I need to be available, Dion. Just trying to know when I need to be available.
I love that.
United States, as it stands, will be taking on Bosnia as in their last 32 game. That'll be on the 2nd of July. Long way to go. So many other games to be played yet. It'll all be decided after the 3rd round of matches. You won't miss anything on BBC Radio 5 Live. Double change at half-time for Australia to the backtrack of Queen, and we will rock you. That is certainly something the United States did in the first half. Australia now have to find a response in the second half. 2-0 down as they are, and we're going to make a triple change here. It was initially 2. They've thrown on a 3rd. Burgess, Villapillet and Toure are off. Giria, Metcalf, and perhaps no surprise, Dion, as Irankunde comes on to replace Toure, the man who scored and looked lively against Turkey.
Yeah, just they need something. They need to change it up. They need more energy. They need a goal threat. They need somebody up top that can stay there as well and just occupy those 2 defenders. I think the referee's going to bring this one back for a restart again. I think there were a few players in the wrong half, so he's going to restart this again, the referee.
So all the excitement and the build-up and the countdown to the kick-off is curtailed, and we are now underway for the second half with the United States starting us off, and they are from right to left in those red and white wavy horizontal striped shirts to mimic the American flag. They've got the navy shorts on and the white socks. Smiles on the face of Christian Pulisic, who is injured for today's game. That calf injury's kept him out, but he's smiling in the shade of the dugout. That's probably why he's smiling the most. He's probably the coolest man out in Lumen Field at the moment. Sun-soaked pitch. Roofs across the 2 stands that run the length of the pitch. This flowing stadium, 2 tiers on all sides, but open-ended behind both goals. Australia all in yellow are left to right, and they're attacking the pocket of golden-shirted fans away to the right-hand side as we look at it. Ball back with the central defender of the United States, Tim Ream, who'll be known to the likes of Bolton and Wigan and Fulham fans rather here in the US. Once cancelled his honeymoon so he could sign for Bolton Wanderers. As far as I'm aware, he is still married. Brave decision. But the wedding went ahead, and the ball has rolled out for a goal kick to the US, despite the pressure of O'Neill in the corner on this near side, Dion.
Yeah, just trying to change things up a little bit in the first few minutes. Australia, a bit more pressure on America, and just forcing America to go long as well, which is a change. They didn't do that in the whole of the first half. It was. I tell you what was nice. Walking myself and Rob. Walking through the streets today on the way here. I mean, it was kind of party-ish. Everybody's in their colours, and they're all mixing and enjoying themselves. There's food vendors, there's street food, there's music, there's a gentleman going by on a tricycle, electric tricycle, with a massive speaker on the back of his tricycle, trying to get to people to say, do you want to live to the stadium? You know, I just think it's just been really well done. Atmosphere's been great. And today's game just kind of sums it up, really. It
is a huge football city, is Seattle. They really feel that the vibe in Western America. Perhaps no surprise, the US are leading this as they are 2-0. They've lost just one of the last 10 group stage matches at the World Cup. That came in 2014 against Germany. They've led in 3 of their last 4 group stage games as well. It's what comes after the group stage where the United States need to improve, and Mauricio Pochettino will certainly be aware of that. Last 16 in 2022 when they went out to the Netherlands. They were semi-finalists all the way back in 1934, a 13-team tournament. That remains the best they've done. Surprise run against England in the semi-finals in 1950 as well. They were 1-0, sorry, to get to that point. As the USA in possession, Chris Richards out towards the far right-hand side, America right to left in this second 45 minutes. Back to Richards, across to Ream. That steady possession that the United States were so used to in the first half is carrying on in the second, but now Weston McKennie goes long, looking for the run of Balogun. Loose ball runs up towards the halfway line, little foot race on, of which Dest is caught as he raced towards the ball and that will be a free kick. Leon Osman.
Yeah, this second half just started kind of as the first half finished, where America are on the front foot. A little bit of uncertainty, lack of decision making really from Australia on that occasion. Ball went up, Australian centre half, I think it was Suter, just headed it down into the middle of the field, and just hesitation from Australia players. 3 of them not sure who should actually go to the ball. Certainly none from Sergio Dest. He just had one thing in his mind, as have the USA team in this tournament so far. Be on the front foot, don't think about what's behind you, go win the ball.
Here's Tyler Adams of Bournemouth, just in a large turning circle, goes back towards the halfway line. Australia on a high after beating Turkey, which is only the second time they've ever won their opening game of a World Cup. This being their 7th edition and 6th in a row, but they've been brought back down to earth by a United States side that have given them very, very few chances and very little time on the ball. 63% of the possession belonging to the United States. The half-time stat that had us surprised, Leon, was the ball recovery time. For the US, it was just 12 seconds. For Australia, 23.
Yeah, I think that was indicative of what we were seeing in the first half, that the USA team desperate to go and win the ball back. It was a real part of the game, and I'd even say that 23 seconds for Australia was just that's how long America wanted to keep hold of the ball. The USA team at that point thought, let's try something, let's go and be positive.
Dest moving in field. His pass is not well telegraphed, and he's split 2 players, and that needs Freeman, who got the second goal in this game. Offside VAR review, which you'll be able to read and see and watch back on the BBC Sport website and app. Was given eventually. He got the second. Cameron Burgess, after just 11 minutes, turning into his own net for the opener of this match. Australia midway inside the United States half, back to the centre circle, and then played long ball out towards this near side for Italiano. Irankundi is the man in the middle that they'll try and aim for, but it's a poor cross that is dealt with by the head of Tyler Adams. Latching onto it is O'Neill, but he can't find a route through, and then an arcing ball has released Balogun down the middle here for the United States into the penalty area. Balogun, recovering defender, does well. Chiakati gets the slide in. Ball flies up into the air and behind for a corner, but Balogun for a moment thought he must be in again for another World Cup goal. Dion Dublin.
Yeah, Chiakati there, really. He should never have the chance to make a defending challenge. Balogun there, he's got to be better. He's got 2 yards on the defender. Make a decision on what you want to do. Make a decision on what finish you want to use as well, and execute it. Took too long. Defender got back in. Should really be free now. He might rue that one.
Yeah, first bit of indecision we've seen from the United States team. It was brilliant from Tyler Adams winning the ball back, playing it into the opposition's penalty area. The pace of Balogun got him free. I don't know if his last touch just left the ball under his feet, or whether he intended to slow down.
Out-swinging corner, goalkeeper stays on his line. There is a defender there to help head the ball away at the near post as we look at it. It was the far post from where the corner was taken on that American right-hand side, but Australia can only get the ball up to the edge of the centre circle before Freeman steps in, intercepts. Tim Ream controls the ball at a leisurely pace, and Tyler Adams can just trot up to the halfway line and decide on where he's going to go next. McKennie wants to feed it back through to Balogun. The angle will be tight on the right-hand side. He'll be shepherded away from the penalty area by a couple of Australian players, not least Alessandro Chiakati. Balogun plays it off him. It is another United States corner.
Oh, Balogun heavily involved again. McKennie, certainly what a forward ball that was, round the corner into the feet. Do you know what? United States have got some really good central midfield players, McKennie and Adams in particular, but also Tillman. They really do dominate in that area, but not just with the intensity they play. They try and play forward passes. They actually keep the ball really well.
There is an article on the BBC Sport website today written by the BBC Football's tactic correspondent Umir Irfan about Pochettino's fluid midfield and how it is thriving at the moment. Read that. Perhaps in between this game and our next game, which is of course Scotland against Morocco on 5 Live. Another out-swinging corner comes in, header from Balogun, seemingly carries on behind him. Clash of heads.
Clash of heads, I think,
Yeah, and the referee has called a stop to proceedings, Dion.
Yeah, I seen that one very, very early. I did see those two. They've already collided once or twice in this game, but I think they're okay. I don't think there's any physios that are going to be on. Yeah, they're on their feet. I do like to see that players that if something's happened and you're okay, let's get on with it and let's get the game moving. I think I've got to say, I think the referees have done okay, their assistants have done okay, and VAR have made the right decisions as well. So, what have I done there? I've just opened a can of worms there, haven't I? Telling them they've done well.
More celebrities on screen, more ignorance from me. Smiling though, watching on a sun-soaked Seattle. There are clouds in the sky, but that is not impeding down on the pitch at all. As Chris Richards, right-footed, slides it out towards the far side. United States leading 2-0, nearly 10 minutes into this second half. McKennie with that, put a blob of red, green and yellow in his hair on the left-hand side of his afro onto the touchline. Wins or concedes a throw-in. Are you going to have a stab at them, Leon? Any idea who they are?
Nope.
Australia win the header midway inside their own half.
I will say the Seahawks won the Super Bowl this year, so it wouldn't surprise me if they were playing for the Seattle Seahawks, NFL players.
Guess of honour, I am sure. As Richards, right-footed long ball, asking for the pace of death to chase, but he's overhit that, and that's a comfortable catch midway inside his penalty area on the bounce for Patrick Beach, the Australia goalkeeper, only his fourth cap. Melbourne City man, his debut came back in November. Was elected to start against Turkey. Free kick given. Late challenge. Just inside the Australian half, Jacob Italiano, the man on the deck, and for the first time, a yellow card shown to a United States player for that foul. It is Anthony Robinson, who has gone in the book, I think, for dissent in the aftermath of that, not believing, Dion, that Pepe had perhaps fouled Italiano there, despite the push in the back.
Yeah, he was just a little bit late there. Robinson just couldn't get to that ball. He did try his hardest to sprint there. Italiano getting there first, and it's just one of those ones where the studs end up on the top of the foot as well.
It was a choice of two fouls for the referee there, and he gave it on the second one.
Robinson complained about them both, so I still think he could have been in the book for any of those reasons.
He still got one yellow card, they could have got two there.
And of course, if it had been a second yellow, then VAR can check. Marshawn Lynch, who's the Seahawks running back, was one of the celebrities we saw. Can't profess to be the biggest NFL fan.
I am. If they were New York...
Was that Lynchy?
If they were New York Jets players, I'd have known them. That's my team.
Your team, who you told me the other night somehow have fallen into the Everton of the NFL.
That was private, that.
Close, but not close enough in terms of success for the Jets. As that's a lovely little manoeuvre from Pepe on the left-hand touchline near side. Lays it back down the line to Robinson. Thought he might have had a look through to turn in towards the penalty area, but thought better of it. Robinson almost reluctantly plays that back to the midway point of the Australian half, and Tyler Adams, I think he wanted to do something more purposeful with the ball, judging by his almost shrugged body language afterwards. Dest up against Chiakati on the far side now for the United States, who lead 2-0 12 minutes into this second half on BBC Radio 5 live. Scotland, Morocco to come, Brazil, Haiti in the small hours of the morning, followed by Turkey against Paraguay from 4 a.m. And then tomorrow, 4 more games for you. Netherlands against Sweden, Germany, Ivory Coast, Ecuador, Curaçao, and Tunisia against Japan over the next 24-36 hours for you as well. Of course, we're across the US Open Golf as well. Rory McIlroy out on course at the moment with Tommy Fleetwood. Wyndham Clark is the leader at Shinnecock Hills Golf Club, too far away from New York as well. Australia into the USA half on the left-hand side, but it's how quickly USA get the numbers around players. 2 or 3 ganging up, but the cross finds a way in on the left-hand side. Tim Ream dives down to win the header, tried to get there in front of Iran Kunde. Referee says corner. There is a big wagging of the finger from Tim Ream to say, no, go and check that.
Yeah, so if I was an Australian player, I'd be right into the corner now, taking this very quickly before it gets looked at and potentially overturned if Tim Ream is telling the truth. But that was better from Australia. It really was, in terms of getting the ball into wide areas and getting the ball forward, getting players into dangerous areas.
And VAR's done its job there, Dion. It has checked the corner. It has decided actually the last touch was off Irankunde, and it will be a goal kick.
With his hand. He couldn't get there with his head, he just stuck a hand out there. I think Tim Ream knew exactly what was going on. He was not panicking at all. That was never going to be a corner.
But in them moments, Dion, do you not think... I mean, I was always trying to find loopholes when I played. If I'm Irankunde there, I'm getting the ball, I'm running over to the corner as quick as I can and taking it before there's an opportunity. If you know it came off you last, nowadays, and you know that VAR can look at corner kicks, you're running over there and taking it quickly, surely.
Yeah, you are. And don't forget, I played against you many, many times. I know how sly you are. I know how sly you are.
You'd have still been trying to get to the corner flag now.
Harsh. Talked about spice between Australia and the United States. I think we've found spice between Leon Osman and Dion Dublin with us on BBC Radio 5 Live, just coming up to 9:30 on Friday evening here in the UK. USA 2, Australia 0. Matthew Leckie with the holes in his socks that he'll have cut himself. He's just down, he's taken a little knock. Tony Popovic has got the Australian players around him. Any better from them in the second half, Leon?
Slightly. I don't think I think United States of America has still been the better team, but I felt they were going to score every time they went forward in that first half. I don't think it's been that case in the second half. I think they've been a bit better defensively. Have Australia, I think they've tried to work up the pitch a bit more. I think they've been a bit more aggressive with the starting press, trying to make it more difficult for the United States of America to play out from the back. But they've still not troubled the goalkeeper. Freeze has still not had a save to make as yet.
So Matthew Leckie is going off following that knock. He's made a little bit of history, but it will be forgotten tonight. He has become the most appearanced player at a World Cup for Australia. He's overtaken Tim Cahill with his 11th such appearance on the world stage. His replacement is Christian Valpoto, whose debut for Australia only came in the warm-up match against Switzerland. He was actually called into the World Cup squad of 2022, but delayed that approach from Australia. The Italian links, he was waiting and waiting on an Italy call that never came, and I just wonder if his decision was made when Italy didn't make it to the United States. Ball played between the lines for America down the middle, but it kind of hits the heels of Balogun and ricochets away, and now at the other end Australia come forward. Irankunde in the box on his own, the angle on the right hand side, needs to support. One player goes down, the rising shot goes over the bar from Volpato. It would have been his first touch, maybe he's a little rusty, and he sends it flying over the top left corner of the goal away to our right hand side. That was the chance, Dion, to get Australia back in this game.
Yeah, I don't care if you've come on for 30 seconds or for 30 minutes. Volpato there has to hit the target. He's 12 yards away from the goal, slightly ahead of the near post. How he hits that so high over the bar, I've no idea. Technique was awful. Just side foot it nice and low, down near the keeper's feet, and just try and hit the target. I think he's looking at a teammate that goes down, and his concentration has lapsed, but that's a terrible finish. Good chance that for Australia.
Oh, really good chance. We would say, Dion, back in the day, that I wonder if he'd put his boots on the right feet there. So bad was that effort from inside the penalty area. But what we got to see there was a glimpse of Irankunde, who started the last game, scored. I expected him to actually start in this game as well, and he found himself on the substitutes bench on at half-time, and that's the reason I expected him to have started this game. That was a great burst forward. The American defence, especially Tim Ream, mismatched for pace completely and nearly exposed him.
Tony Popovic watching on, former Crystal Palace defender in his day, watching the action at the other end now, rests his hand on his chin, strokes his top lip with his index finger, pensive. Good work from Irankunde. He had the pace there, and whether we will now see whether that's just a blow to the confidence of Australia and the fact that they haven't been able to get back in the game, or whether it just gives them a little boost in that they know they can now break the lines of America and create their own chances. Quick throw-in taken by Freeman. Balogun will have to hold it up just outside the corner of the 6-yard box. Pinball in the layoff that he then creates, but Australia get the favour of the ball, and it runs out towards the left-hand side. Nearly 20 minutes gone in this second half, and it is the United States who still lead by 2-0. Bit more pace in Australia now, coming down the left-hand side. Jordan Boss, who is the quickest player at the World Cup so far, clocking 36.7 kilometres an hour, but the United States had the cover and were able to limit just how much pace he could have.
Any guesses who was second and third, Dion? Quickest at the tournament so far?
Not me and you, no.
No, certainly not us.
Second and third quickest, not slowest, Dion.
Oh, sorry. Should have said. Clear up the question, lads. Come on.
Long ball forward.
I'll leave that one with you for a moment.
Yeah, go on, pal.
There's your quiz question for the night on BBC Radio 5 Live. We'll give you the answer. Well, Leon can give you the answer shortly. Who are the second and third quickest players at the World Cup so far after match day 1? We played 20 minutes of the second 45. Scotland-Morocco to come. Big game for the Scots tonight after that win against Haiti. Can they follow it up with something against Morocco and almost assure themselves of a place in the last 32? Australia with work to do, but inside the penalty area. The layoff comes, the low shot on target from the substitute of Connor Metcalf, but it's low and it's easily saved. Central down the goal for Matt Freese.
Yeah, just putting the United States under a bit of a pressure. I mentioned that they were being a bit more aggressive at the top end of the pitch, and that's what we've seen, forcing firstly Freeman and then Richards to both misplace clearances, get it all wrong, and actually then they ended up getting a chance from that. Didn't really open up the United States of America through good play, they just earned the opportunity.
Pace again of Viran Kunde wanting to be used. Him and Richards come across the pitch with each other to track the ball. Need to get there, and Freese is able to see it away, Dion.
Yeah, the green and gold fans are making themselves heard, not happy with a couple of the referees' decisions. Australia have been better in the last 5-8 minutes. They've been a little bit more positive. They've got a couple more chances. Viran Kunde as well down the middle is actually causing them a few problems. You need to keep him in the middle of the pitch. You don't want him out wide left or out wide right. Get your fullbacks forward, leave him down the middle of the pitch, and the ball in behind is the one that he wants, that he can run onto. Doesn't want everything to feet.
Viran Kunde, who is Australia's youngest ever World Cup goal scorer, did that with his goal against Turkey, the 20-year-old who plays for Watford, signed from Bayern Munich, never played for the German side. He's getting his chance at Vicarage Road. He dedicated his celebration against Turkey to Tim Cahill by boxing the corner flag. 20 years ago this week that Tim Cahill scored 2 against Japan at the World Cup.
Wow, that makes me feel old. Former teammate of mine was doing that when I was in the team with him at Everton. Wow, that does make me feel old. It just shows the next generation of football always learning from the previous one. And Viran Kunde has now got, well, basically in the next, what was it, maybe 10, 15 years, the potential to really carry this Australia team from the glimpses that you've probably seen.
Long ball forward from the United States. Anthony Robinson infield to Tyler Adams, Bournemouth man. Used to stay up till 6 o'clock to watch his idol Thierry Henry. In all my research, Dion, I've not found anyone who stayed up at 6 o'clock to watch you.
No, none of my family did that either, let me tell you.
2-0 to the States, looking for that third goal. Do you sense, Dion, they need that third goal now, just with the way Australia have played in the last couple of moments?
Yeah, Mike, I think you're absolutely spot on. And the USA fans as well have sensed that as well, that Australia have come into the game. The fans are now thinking to themselves, right, we've got to help our team here. Because one goal, if Australia score one goal as the hydration break is called, if they get that one goal, then it could be a little bit nervy. So the USA fans need to help their team. Australian fans are doing just that.
So in the sunshine of Seattle, the hydration break is called at the midway point of this second half. The United States leading Australia by 2-0. Reminder of that quiz question we set you in the Jordan Boss is the quickest player at the World Cup so far. Who's second or third? We'll get the answer from Leon after we have the latest on the breaking news developing tonight about that train crash in the Bedford area. With more, Richard Foster.
Thanks, Mike. Police have confirmed that one person has died after 2 trains crashed in Bedfordshire. Both were operated by East Midlands Railway. Several people have been injured. Our correspondent Holly Nichols is nearby.
there is a road cordon in place currently. Buses have come to the scene to evacuate the passengers from the side of the road, but I've been here the best part of 2 hours now, and there has been, I would say, upwards of 50 to 60 passengers who have been evacuated, who have been sat on the side of the road waiting for their loved ones to pick them up. Amongst these people, there are some who are injured quite badly. I would say I've seen people limping with blood on their clothes. I've seen people with bandages on their face and around their head. I've seen people severely distressed, just in shock, if I'm honest, not quite knowing where they are or how they're going to get home.
Our reporter Holly Nichols speaking to me earlier. Well, Brett Byatt was in the rear carriage of the train, which hit the one in front.
Everyone that was sat down went flying into one another, and it was just like shrieks and groans of pain and shock. And there was a woman in front of me that had completely snapped her leg. There was a woman behind her. They were sort of on top of each other. She couldn't move because of her back. There was a guy further down the carriage that couldn't move his neck. He was laid on the floor and people were holding him still. There was seriously deep gashes. I keep saying to my friends, luckily I was wearing a vest because I had to take my top off and compress an old lady's wound on her head. And then the emergency services turned up in their droves. I've never seen so many emergency services. There were hundreds.
Well, in the past few minutes, the Prime Minister's responded to the train collision south of Bedford. He called the reports hugely concerning. Sir Keir Starmer says, first and foremost, my thoughts are with the family of the person who sadly lost their life and with those who have been seriously injured. He added, I'm grateful to the emergency services for their swift response to this tragic incident. So yes, that major emergency response still underway after the collision between two passenger trains in the Bedford area. Firefighters, police and ambulance crews are all at the scene. One person has been killed. I'll have more at full time, but right now, it's back to Mike Minor.
Richard, thank you. Yeah, more throughout the evening on BBC Radio 5 Live. You can also read about it on the BBC News website and app as well. There's an American fan in the stands of this Open Roof Stadium at either end. He was behind one of the goals. He had a Vegemite-free zone. So spice amongst the players, spice amongst the fans as well, I think, with that little dig at the Australians as well. We're back underway after the hydration break. United States 2, Australia 0. As an injury here to Volpato, I think it is, has just caused a free kick to Australia midway inside the the Australian half, and they go long with it out towards the far side. United States in those red and white wavy striped shirts to mimic the American flag. The navy shorts, the white socks are from right to left in this second half. Australia in that golden yellow outfit, synonymous with the Aussies, are from left to right in this second half, of which we have 19 minutes left of normal time. There'll be a little bit added on as well. And again, the question gets raised about the momentum break. The hydration break, as it is formally known, because Australia, Dion, at the time, were probably enjoying the better of the football.
Just came into it, didn't they? Just came into it with a little bit of joy. A couple of half efforts on target as well, just by putting that back four of the USA under a little bit of pressure. What we did get though during the hydration break, which is a first for me, 50-odd thousand USA fans with a rendition of Living on a Prayer. Awful singers.
In tune, awful. I was going to say.
Awful.
And you know awful, mate.
Back on.
USA 2, Australia 0. This stadium a two-tiered bowl. The arch roof covering the stands that flow along the length of the pitch. At either end it's open. Semicircled stand, weird semicircled stand, like the back of a ship, like the Titanic sinking, that kind of arched semicircle stand. Away to the left with the cityscape in the background. At the right, the flowing bottom tier, but the second tier doesn't have any seats. It's almost got like a viewing platform, a large LED screen as well. As Tim Ream goes down, the referee has been given an offside free kick in the United States' favour. So we sent you that question with Jordan Boss out there for Australia. He's been registered as the quickest man at the World Cup so far. The question, Leon Jeremy Paxman Osman, was who was second and third.
Did you get it, Dion? Any ideas?
Mbappe was one.
No,
Mbappe won.
I think he was ninth. Second, Haaland. Third, Kushinov.
Is that right? Haaland as well. I wouldn't have had him as the fastest, most explosive, the most powerful, but that surprised me, that wasn't. Substitution.
Yeah, for the United States, with number 9, who is Ricardo Pepi, coming off. The man who was tasked with replacing the injured Christian Pulisic, and the son of the former America's coach Greg Berhalter, Sebastian Berhalter, is coming on in his place. Robinson in the left-back position, away down towards our right-hand side. Plays it forward to Balogun, who is just pulled further and further off the ball, and with that hampering of his ability to play football, the referee has given a free kick here, Deal.
Yeah, Balogun, that's in my opinion, perfect centre-forward play. I mean, Robinson's coming down the left-hand side, he beats his man, and then he just rolls the ball right in front of the dugouts. And Balogun there, he just puts his studs on it, and he holds off the defender. He's got the ball on one side of him, he's in the middle, defender's on the left, uses his strength, gets his team up the pitch, and he gets himself a free kick. Really good centre-forward play.
And then good play by Freeman, the left-back, getting forward here for the United States to the corner of the penalty area, near side, and then just waits for a little bit of support, which comes in the form of the diminutive Tyler Adams, played out towards the far side of the field, but just stealing in was Jordan Boss. There he was using his pace to get to the ball before the man on the far side, I think it was Sergio Dest, wasn't it? But it's won the ball back for Australia, still inside their own half. Through the centre circle they go, moving the ball in which the direction it comes, and out towards this near side now for Italiano. 2 over with him in the form of Adams and Robinson, as it is played back out towards Italiano on the far side, using Conor Metcalf as well. Step overs from him. Here's Volpato, right-footed crossing. It's going to go over Iran Kunde, and nobody in a yellow shirt of Australia can get hold of it. That is until it is won back by Giria. Richards needs to head it away from the edge of the 6-yard box, and he does. BBC Radio 5 live with the sounds of Seattle as United States lead Australia by 2-0. Out towards the far side it goes. Scotland team news on the way in a moment. They're taking on Morocco in your next commentary tonight from 11 o'clock here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Giria, Volpato, has Italiano out towards the right-hand touchline if he wants to keep the ball moving in that direction. Changes, moves in field, left-footed step overs. Now Italiano, round the corner it goes. Volpato, it's a check back from him inside the box. He'll try and cross it in. It's a clip up in the air that comes off the head of Chris Richards. Siran Kunde making himself a nuisance, hacked away and out for a throw on this near side. So we can get the Scotland team news with Ailey Barber.
3 changes for Scotland for this massive game against Morocco. Nathan Patterson, Ryan Christie, Kieran Tierney all start. Aaron Hickey, Ben Gannon-Doak and Lawrence Shankland are out. Change of shape as well, so it's Gunn in goal, back 4 of Robertson, Hanley, Hendry and Patterson. Christie and Ferguson in midfield with McTominay ahead of them. On the left-hand side, Tierney. On the right-hand side, McGinn, and Che Adams will lead the line.
Nelly, thank you. Commentary to come with Alistair Lamont and Pat Nevin inside the Gillette Stadium from 11 o'clock tonight. Scotland against Morocco. That's followed by Chris Coles and Andy Reid, who'll bring you Brazil against Haiti from 1:30. Turkey, Paraguay with John Akers and Clinton Morrison from 4 o'clock. Substitute for Australia, bringing on the long-haired, surfer-esque, mustachio-lipped Jackson Irvine. As a free kick has been given here to Australia. Volpato rolling around on the floor. USA 2, Australia 0. Leon Osman.
Yeah, it's a coming together with Anthony Robinson just as the ball was about to be on back into play. Robinson is claiming his innocence. Volpato's on the floor. The referee doesn't seem to be giving anything, but Robinson's already on a yellow card, so he'll be really concerned that something's going to happen here. I would just see it again. Volpato's just trying to run round the back shoulder of Robinson, and he just puts his arm out to feel it, and in doing so he kind of catches Volpato with his left forearm in the face. It certainly is unintentional, but it was a connection with the face. The referee saw it for what it was, though. No yellow card.
Nicknamed Jedi, Anthony Robinson. It was a lightsaber of a left arm around his
Self-named.
Self-named.
Self-named. Dion, I don't know how many times you picked your own nickname, but he came into the Everton He came into the Everton dressing room and told us all what his nickname was.
Straight away, first introduction.
Oh, it was incredible.
You can call me Jedi. What were your two? Do I dare ask what your two nicknames were, or is it not eligible for radio? As the ball is played from the throw-in from Australia, cross comes in, deflects behind corner.
We're in America, so I'll plead the fifth.
Corner here to Australia, trailing 2-0. They're going to have to score soon. They've got 11 minutes left of the 90. If they want to have a shot at getting something from this game, they performed really well against Turkey. They faced a lot of pressure, scored when they had to. And they've done the same in this game, but without the scoring factor. An own goal and Freeman have given USA a cushion. Corner in from the near side, drifted towards Suter at the back post, who challenges for the ball. It is then met on the edge of the box. Referee has said that Suter fouled his man in coming to attack the ball at the far side of the 6-yard box. Freeman is the man down, and that, Dion Dublin, was going to be a free kick to the States.
Yeah, Suter just a little bit aggressive there, just a little bit late, caught Freeman as he was coming towards the ball. Freeman, I mean, Suter's a big lad, just gets there late, bit of an elbow into the neck, nothing to worry about. I'm just looking to my left here behind that kind of, I don't know, that sort of freestanding stand behind the goal, and as I look, there's a hotel, I think it's a hotel with like a rooftop. There's about 100 people on the rooftop, sat there, elevated rooftop, looking into the stadium. They are way up into the sky. They're even higher than the stand. That's how high they are on that little terrace there. I bet you they didn't pay the ticket price to watch this game.
No, but I bet they paid a hefty hotel price to enjoy that balcony view.
I bet they have as well.
Just dipping below the LED screen. If the ball goes up into the air, I don't think they've got much chance of seeing it, but they'll be enjoying a free ticket to the game in a World Cup that has been controversially spoken about, where ticket prices are concerned. Those that are inside are enjoying a party atmosphere from a States perspective. Plenty of fancy dress. The George Washington wigs are out, flags. There's a man dressed as a Statue of Liberty. I saw him earlier, where the torch, the famous torch of the Statue of Liberty, has been replaced by a World Cup replica. A very cheap one at that, by the way, I will add. It looked like it had been bought from a pound shop maybe, but fancy dress nonetheless. As the ball is flicked up into the edge of the centre circle, Jackson Irvine trying to hook the ball from just behind him, does well actually with the right foot, catches it nicely and plays it out towards this near right-hand side. USA 2, Australia 0, 9 minutes left of the second half on BBC Radio 5 Live. Then we turn our attentions to the Gillette Stadium, Scotland against Morocco. Big games wherever you look, including tomorrow away from the football. We'll bring you the Prem final between Northampton Saints and Exeter Chiefs. Mark Chapman is with you from midday. Build up to come with Thomas Frank, Jen Beattie, Nader Manua, Statman Dave. 4 World Cup games from tomorrow evening. Of course, the second day of the Test match will be on Sports Extra tomorrow morning. New Zealand 252 for 3 at the close of play on day 3. Day 4 starts. They have a second innings lead of 352 runs. Irvine, right side of the penalty area, but closer to the touchline. Then the ball is swung in behind her, and Kunde, and Boss couldn't race in time. Behind it goes for a goal kick.
Yeah, Australia putting a lot more pressure on the United States team at the moment. You just wonder where this kind of attitude and implication came, or has been, for the majority. Yes, they need to now go and surge. Yes, they're being braver, but just makes you think that they came with the wrong kind of attitude and the wrong kind of mindset, tactical sort of setup for this game. It was so negative in that first half. Maybe you credit the United States team more and you want to be negative towards Australia, but there's been a marked difference in this second half in how they've actually taken the game to the United States team. Wood tackles, been on the front foot, and they've looked better for it.
The biggest cheer of the afternoon from the Australian fans comes when they spot themselves on the big LED screens inside the Lumen Field Stadium. 2-0 down as they are, with 7 minutes to go. They've got to throw midway inside the United States half here, as Metcalf feeds in a Volpato. Clever little flick behind him to return it to Metcalf, and now Italiano takes over. Header comes away, runs to the edge of the D. Players charging onto it here, and Kunde tries to turn, goes down as he turns. Referee's not interested in a penalty. Swarm of US players around him. Volpato 25 yards out, moves out towards the right corner of the box. Italiano swings it in low this time. Foot's flying everywhere from the States just to try and get it clear. They can't get hold of it properly at the moment. Irvin sticks out a right leg, controls the ball. 2-0 as Australia look to get back in. Irvin round the right-hand side, sends in the cross. It's blocked at source, but behind for a corner from Chris Richards, Dion Dublin.
Yeah, those Australian fans behind the goal really giving it a go now. They're clapping, they're singing their team on. They played a lot better in the second half. Leon's absolutely spot on. It's just through energy, not a lot of quality. Energy forcing the USA team to make mistakes, and they've had about 2 or 3 corners now. They've got another outswinger coming in.
So we wait for the corner, getting replays of that possible foul on Iran Kunde. Corner, outswinging delivery, runs to this near side of the penalty area. Italiano first onto it. McKennie tries to close him down deep, cross in, players arriving. Oh, it's missed 2-3, then the low shot from Giria, blocked by the sliding challenge of Tyler Adams. Oh, how did Australia not score? It missed 1, it missed 2 before it fell to the third player. And if either of the first 2 had got onto it, surely that's 1 back for the Aussies. It still remains USA 2, Australia 0.
You know what that is? I mean, I'm pretty sure the first chance fell to Harry Souttar, you know. It was just a cross from the right-hand side, which just found its way through a load of legs over the top. It gets headed back. I mean, Harry Souttar is 6 yards out, level with a near post. He actually misses the ball, and I think he clatters into Richards. I mean, that's a golden opportunity. That's the best chance they've had today, Australia. Should have had one back.
It's such a good chance, and he committed to it so well that actually ended up giving a free kick away, because as he swung through and completely missed the ball, he's just volleyed Chris Richards. He's literally just gone into him. He committed to it, but got it so wrong, and that could have been such a different story. That could have been the game really there to play for in the final few minutes.
6'6" frame of Harry Souttar couldn't connect with the ball on the edge of the 6-yard box. Tony Popovic with his black shirt, black tie on, the Australian manager with his short spiky hair, is slamming the face of his watch with his palm, telling his team, come on, let's get on with it, because time is running out. 5 minutes left and the USA lead 2-0. A win today would see them qualify for the knockout stages of the World Cup. Their women counterparts have won this major competition. The men looking to become the first host nation since France in 1998 to win the World Cup as hosts. Not many are fancying the USA. In fact, Opta only gave them a slightly over 1% chance of winning the World Cup. Mauricio Pochettino brought in on a $6 million salary, part paid for by a billionaire to help bring him in, and they were interested in Pep Guardiola once upon a time, but they've got Pochettino and he wants to really drive United States football forward. Chris Richards, who's at the back today for the host nation, was saying that US 94 helped build the MLS and really spark that off. He wondered what legacy this tournament will lead. As long as the host nation is in, or one of the 3 host nations, it has a chance of being a real platform. Richards has to header it away, and then the shot, of which they couldn't hook their boot round it. Chikati wasn't it, edge of the D, left-footed, ball was running behind him, he tried to catch it on the half volley, he sent it over, and it will be a USA goal kick. They're leading by 2-0.
Yeah, Chikati there, just getting the bits off of his centre-half partner, going up there, causing a bit of a havoc there, Souttar, and the ball falls to his centre-half partner, and he just blazes it over the top. I mean, there's been some real physical stuff between Souttar. There you go, they're at it again, look, Souttar.
Yeah, that was a late one from Jason Giria, and now it's sparked out between the players as well, trying to be pulled apart a little bit here. Balogun involved in that, being pushed away by his teammates. Referee Felix Weyer of Germany is calling the players over. He'll certainly be interested in having a word with a couple of these.
Well, they'll need help from his officials, because I think there was at least 2 different incidents going on there, and there's no way he could have had his eyes on them at the same time. There's even another one going on now, probably 40 yards away, between Italiano and Trusty, who's just come on. I think they were wrestling for the ball, but we talked about the needle between these 2 teams before the game. I think you're just seeing it now. I think you're starting to see levels of frustration just ticking over. That there's such a late part of the game, as the referee gave out 3 yellow cards there.
We will clear up who those 3 are for in just a moment. I think one was for Balogun, one for Harry Souttar as well. There's Italiano booked as well, so it was Balogun and Suter backing into each other, the Australian captain, arms around one another. That's where the referee's given the yellow card there, but Chiacati then comes over, he's not happy, and then Italiano booked 2 in the aftermath for that little off the ball incident, the confrontation between him and Trusty. We are back underway. Yellow cards all dished out. USA lead 2-0. We're about to head into the final minute of the 90. I imagine there'll be a little bit of added time. USA have won a free kick here, plumb central, inside the Australian half. Scally, who's come on as a substitute as well, straight into the thick of the action and straight down on the deck, Dion Dublin.
Yeah, I think it might be... It's Iran Koundé there. You know what? I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. There's the 2 players coming together, trying to win the ball. I just believe you've just got to just get on with it. Nothing wrong with that at all.
It was, Dion. 2 people going shoulder to shoulder, and one of them screamed. That's all it was. Scally just screamed. You saw
louder
it
than the other.
In the air. He screamed in the air, and the referee gave a free kick. But you're right. That should have just been play on.
Scally, the Borussia Mönchengladbach player, second World Cup for him. Cross from Trusty. On this near left-hand side in between box and touchline, flies off Geria, the 2 number 6s. Comes off the Australian number 6 and goes behind for a corner on this near side. Very close to finding out how much added time there will be at the end of this second half. 5-10 in the UK. Tillman prepares to take this corner, near side, the left. That's the short options of Weston McKennie. He's receded the duties to Berhalter. They go short, and they're going to hold it up in the corner here, perhaps knowing that the Australians have had the last 15 minutes or so more in their favour. USA haven't had a shot for quite some time. 6 minutes of added time shown, and the United States lead by 2-0. Geria sends it away, but doesn't go far enough. Tillman can't control it. Australia try and smash it away. Blocked from close range by Berhalter. And it's a throw right in front of the American manager of Mauricio Pochettino, the Argentine American manager, I should say, with his now flowing hair. As Volpato makes his way forward, Iran Koundé makes a little turn to the right-hand side. Italiano, when you needed a decent delivery, just couldn't provide it. The cross drifts up and behind, goes out of play, despite the best efforts of Boss to keep it in. And that is going to be a cheap goal kick given to the United States, Dion.
Yeah, just Italiano there going down the right-hand side. Just, he had all the time in the world to put a bit of quality in, but he just... heavy legs, and the sun out there as well. He must be absolutely shattered. He's been up and down that right-hand side all day. Bit of frustration there, and the ball went into the air, out for a goal kick and back in again.
Large
USA
eagle,
get to reset.
Large eagle crested shirt on one of the T-shirts of the USA fans. One of them holds up their Panini sticker album of a player as well. Don't want to lose that. They cost enough these days as well. Never mind the ticket prices. USA 2, Australia 0. 90 seconds gone at the additional 6. We just saw whilst Dion was talking, Leon, the reason that Jacob Italiano was booked.
Oh yeah, frustrating as well. He just went to try and get the ball from the corner to get the game going, and Trusty and the United States team just followed him all the way and then jumped in front of the ball, blocked him. So Italiano, because Trusty had run 30 yards just to stop him, just got in the way and threw him on the floor.
On his chest, and he plays it towards the left-hand side, looking for Tillman. Tillman on the slide, rolls it right across the penalty area, but far too ahead of Balogun. Australia now have the numbers back, and USA in possession, corner of the penalty area. Balogun tries a clever little side-footed flick on the edge of the box, but it's unsuccessful. Iran Koundé will chase that ball. He's cut off completely by Chris Richards. That will be a yellow card, and that will be a free kick to Australia on the halfway line.
Yeah, the referee stumbled twice there, trying to get over to give that yellow card. Nearly saw him on the floor. Did you see it? Yeah, had a tough time, but that's a clear yellow card there for Richards. Iran Koundé has just been a handful. I mean, he hasn't quite got that clear-cut chance yet.
Oh, look at this. Have a look at this then. Have a look at this.
Is the referee, has he got cramp, has he?
I've never seen this before. I've never seen this before at any football match I've seen. The referee is getting his hamstrings stretched because he's got cramp by an Australian player. Yeah. Referee, come on, where's your intake of water?
He didn't take advantage of the hydration break, did he? Felix Weyer, the German German referee, one of the top referees in Europe, but he's down. His assistant is on. Aidan O'Neill was providing some support, but now his assistant is just bending the left boot of the referee, trying to stretch out that muscle, trying to prevent the cramp.
I hope the fourth official's warmed up.
If he isn't, he'll be quickly sprinting down the touchline to get warmed up. Felix Vieira refereed the Europa League final between Manchester United and Spurs back in 2025.
Stretcher, we've got stretcher.
The assistant referee has come on here with a shot of juice, almost like ginger juice. Yeah, get it down you.
Yeah, Mike, I've got to say, there's a stretcher just in between the two dugouts. 4 people either side, 2 on either side, waiting there in the sprint position for the referee. Oh no, they don't need it. Oh no, he's stretching again.
He's back down again. He's put his palms on the floor. He's bent over the referee, trying to stretch those legs out. The heat of Seattle causing him some problems, Felix Vieira. Well. There's one for the montage at the end of the World Cup, isn't it? That's the World Cup funny collection sorted. So we will go beyond the 6 minutes because of the referee, not because of the players.
I'm surprised 1 or 2 of the players haven't actually suffered, those that have stayed on, because the heat is, it is a hot occasion. They've done an awful lot of running. The referee's had to keep up with it. Give him his credit.
USA fans are cheering. They are close to their side reaching the knockouts with what would be 2 wins from 2. They were convincing against Paraguay. They were dominant in the first half against Australia. Long clearance downfield from the US, lands in the centre circle, taken back under the guys of the yellow shirts of the Aussies.
I hope you're watching the game, Dion. I can't keep my eyes off the referee now. I'm on ref watch.
I'm seeing the USA want to make a couple of subs. I don't know if they're even going to get on.
Volpato swings it in, but that's going to go past everyone. Well wide of the left post as well, so that's going to be a goal kick to the States. Maybe the US will get time for a change. Is the referee's number up here? No, it is for the US. And it's going to see Folarin Balogun replaced. His drilled cross from the left-hand side in the first half, after 11 minutes, was turned into the net by Cameron Burgess for an own goal. Standing ovation, dancing Americans in the crowd. Another impressive performance from Folarin Balogun, dear.
Balogun's been brilliant. He really has. He's had a couple of monsters to deal with as well. Centre half, they've really made it difficult, Burgess and Suter, but he's done well. He's stood firm, he's held the ball up, and I believe he'll be the next one that they'll be looking after. Bit of cotton wool around him, ready for the next game.
Haji Wright is his replacement, who scored both goals against Australia in a friendly of October last year. Giovanni Reina, son of the former American player Claudio, is on as well. He's replaced Weston McKennie. Irvin wins a header. Iran Kunda trying to get down the right-hand side. He tussles quickly back to his feet, though. He was going toe-for-toe with Austin Trusty. As the ball went in the box, USA have dealt with it. We're past the 6 minutes of added time. One final charge from the States here for the substitute, who gets his opportunity, moves into the penalty area, tries to get the shot away. 4 yellow shirts around him. Haji Wright couldn't pull the trigger in time, never really had the space.
Yeah, 1 touch too many. He was offside when he was played through anyway. He was played through by Tillman, who I've got to say, I think has been brilliant for the United States team today. It's the first time I've been able to really watch the full game of the United States in this tournament. And came thinking Adams and McKinney in that middle of the pitch would be the dominant force, but Tillman has had a really impressive game.
Irvin hooks it over his shoulder, but it will just bounce aimlessly once, twice, 3 times towards the byline. The American players let it run. The fans cheer. It's a big cheer because they're a step closer. And we still await the full-time whistle, though. 6 minutes of added time was shown. We're closer to 8. Referee just telling Patrick Beach to get on with it. An American fan in the stands with the blue, white, red vertical striped top hat. The joke shot beard out as well for the fresh-faced American youngster. And he's sent long into the air. Brought down brilliantly by Freeman into the penalty area. He's rolled it across the box. Haji Wright was trying to get there, but Aidan O'Neill got there first and just poked the ball away from Haji Wright. There goes the full-time whistle. It's 2 wins from 2 for the United States, who make it through to the knockout stages of the World Cup. Later tonight, they may even go through as group winners. 2 first-half goals have seen them get the better of Australia, dominant in the opening 45 and controlled in the second half. And United States, to the cheering sounds of Seattle, have done what they needed to. The host nation joined Mexico as well in the last 32 of the 2026 World Cup. Dion Dublin.
They deserve it. They really do. They play in fits and starts, this USA side. Australia, for me, didn't really get started. They had a little period in the second half, 15-20 minutes, where you thought, oh, maybe they'll get one back. But they didn't quite have the quality and the energy. USA were screamed on by all these fans in here. They're making an absolute racket. All those American fans that have come today, that are going to be here all night, will definitely be sleepless in Seattle.
And they'll enjoy themselves there, Dion, and they'll be dreaming of where they finished in the group. They'll be watching that game, Turkey, Paraguay, that's on later today, and wondering where this World Cup's going to take them. USA could dream. I think they can start to believe in themselves. I wonder where they constitute success, whether they feel they have to win the World Cup, or a quarter-finals would send a real legacy through the United States football stroke soccer team for many years to come, because it's possible for them after that kind of performance. Australia, on the other hand, after that win in the first game, have still got a chance. Might not have gone well their way today, but there's still a lot to play for as they move forward. So smiles all round for the United States team.
They blew away Paraguay on match day 1. As Living on a Prayer is the American anthem for the 2026 World Cup. They have won 2 matches in a World Cup group for the first time since the 1930s, the United States. Mauricio Pochettino at a team meeting in November said to the side, let's be realistic and do the impossible. A long way from that, but Steve, they've done the minimum. They've beaten Australia by 2-0 and they are through to the knockout stages of the World Cup. USA 2, Australia 0.
Mike, Leon, Dion, thank you all very much indeed. Welcome to Foxborough, just outside Boston, where we are going to bring you full commentary in just under 55 minutes time of Scotland versus Morocco at this World Cup. When the full-time whistle went in the USA match, these humongous screens to our left-hand side, and when I say they're as big as houses, I mean it. All of a sudden, the Stars and Stripes flags emerged, the national anthem began to play, and just a few neutrals began to cheer. As I look to my right-hand side, I can see the Stars and Stripes, which is high above the stadium here at Foxborough, has just gone a little bit limp. The breeze has just deserted us. To our right, I can see the flag of Morocco, the red block and the green star, and a big Scottish saltire next to it, right at the top of the main stand here. I've been for a little walk up there and looked over the edge. It is a long way down pitch side, by the way. Later we'll hear from Ailey Barber. We're going to have James McFadden and Pat Nevin with us as well. This is some occasion and some opportunity for Scotland to book their place in the knockout round of a World Cup for the very first time. We are also keeping you up to date with the US Open Golf, which is ongoing, with correspondent Ian Carter.
And Rory McIlroy with an excellent opening 9 holes. He went to the turn in 3 under par, but at the 10th he thinned a wedge through the back of the green. That led to a drop shot, and at the short 11th he's missed the green in the worst possible area, long and left. So McIlroy in danger of back-to-back bogeys. He's currently at 2 under par, 5 shots off the lead held by Wyndham Clark. He was round in 69 earlier to move to 7 under. Matt Fitzpatrick 70 leaves the Englishman alongside Xander Schauffele and Sam Stevens and Sam Burns, all sharing second place at 3 under.
All eyes, all focus and attention here at Foxborough for Scotland versus Morocco in the World Cup. After the news on 5 Live with Richard Foster.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The voice of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Thanks, Steve. Good evening. Police have confirmed that one person has died after two trains crashed in Bedfordshire. Both of them were operated by East Midlands Railway. The East of England Ambulance Service in the past few minutes has said that the collision left 11 people with very serious injuries, 22 seriously injured and 56 with minor injuries. In the past hour, the Prime Minister's issued a statement about the crash, calling the reports hugely concerning. He says, first and foremost, my thoughts are with the family of the person who sadly lost their life and with those who have been seriously injured. He added, I'm grateful to the emergency services for their swift response to this tragic incident. Well, Brett Byatt was a passenger on one of the trains involved, and we can speak to him now. Good evening, Brett.
Further up the road. But obviously, this is the area where there are a lot of the walk.
Hello, Brett. Can you hear me?
Hi, I can hear you.
Hello. Thanks very much indeed for speaking to us here on 5 Live. Just describe what happened to you on the trains this afternoon.
So, I boarded the 5:10 train, Bedford to St Pancras, and I was stood up in the carriage, actually, by the doors, which I think was probably the reason why I'm uninjured. And we probably left for 5 minutes before the crash, to be honest. And I knew something was wrong because the train driver put the brakes on, and which doesn't happen between Bedford and Luton until you're approaching Luton. And in that split second of noticing something was up, then it was the horrible crash. It was horrific. I was at the back carriage of the train that crashed into the stationary one, and I mean the level of injuries in my carriage were horrible. There were, I think, 3 to 4 pretty serious injuries involving a snapped leg, probably seriously injured backs, necks, and there were some pretty serious head wounds that I was helping compress and sort of do first aid triaging with that. It was horrific.
How badly hurt are you, Brett?
I've got a bump on my shin. I am very thankful and grateful that I'm uninjured. And it was just in that moment, and I'm thankful I was even there, actually, because I was in a position where I could help people. There were probably me and 3 other people that were well enough to go around and help everyone else that was injured. I'd probably say 80% of the carriage had for me, what would be deemed a serious injury where they shouldn't and couldn't stand. There was a lot of blood.
How easy was it to get people off the trains?
So some people were saying that we should open the doors. Now they were actually saying that we should smash the windows. And I was like, nope, you don't have to do that. There's an emergency release. So I opened both the doors. And some people jumped off, if they could. Once the police services arrived and they told all the uninjured people to leave, I helped the police officer get people off because it was quite the drop down to the hard rocks on the track. That was sort of a swift procedure considering everything.
Brett, thanks very much indeed for talking to us tonight, and stay safe. Thanks very much indeed. Let's speak to Philip Hay, an independent rail expert. Good evening, Philip. What do you understand so far about what's happened here?
Well, it's quite clear from all the pictures and the witnesses there that one train has run into the back of another train just south of Bedford. What is a lot less clear is why this accident has happened. Britain's railways have a signalling system that's specifically designed to keep trains apart. Clearly, something has gone wrong tonight, and finding out what did go wrong will be down to the Rail Accident Investigation Branch and their team that will be looking in detail over the next few weeks and months what has happened this evening.
Just describe for us how the safety of trains has improved over the last few decades.
It's improved considerably. Britain's rail network is one of the safest in the world. Although I'll fully admit that on an evening like this, it doesn't particularly seem like it. But rail safety has improved considerably over the last few decades, and that's one of the reasons why there has been such a reaction to this evening's incident. Collisions like this are incredibly rare on the rail network. It is probably years since the last accident of this sort of nature, one train running into the back of another train. The signalling is there simply to prevent this sort of thing happening.
Philip Hay, independent rail expert, thanks very much indeed for speaking to us here tonight on 5 Live. Let's go now to our correspondent Alex Pope, who's close to the scene where the accident happened in Bedfordshire. Good evening, Alex. What can you see at the moment? What's happening there right now?
Well, actually, it's everything has sort of calmed down. It's been very, very busy afternoon because this part of Bedfordshire is not far from Bedford. So Bedford is basically over there, and this is where a lot of the walking wounded were coming off the railway lines. A lot of the people I spoke to, they were shocked, relieved though that they were okay. But obviously they had seen a lot of other people injured on the line. But then they were being sent on to either go home or to their destination.